presentation of Sports West Productions, your source for local college sports. They've been playing football for better than a century here at the University of Nevada, and oh, how they'd love to celebrate another championship in Mackay Stadium. This afternoon, they welcome the University of Hawaii and their quarterback, Colt Brennan. Of Nevada Wolfpack welcome the Hawaii Warriors to the biggest little city in the world. And Hawaii and June Jones bring in the most prolific offense in the WAC. They know how to do one thing, and that's throw it. But it won't be easy against a program that knows how to win championships. The Nevada Wolfpack, led by the Hall of Fame head coach Chris Ault. He's got another good quarterback in the junior Jeff Rowe. It's the Warriors and the Wolfpack next. A pleasant autumn afternoon here in Nevada, as the Wolfpack, who are 8-2 at home over the last two seasons, host the Hawaii Warriors. Hello and welcome. I'm Rich Cellini. Hawaii and Nevada dealt a couple of bad hands last week. Warriors lost to Fresno State. Nevada got throttled by the Boise State Broncos, but they look to bounce back this Saturday against one another. As we take a look at the WAC standings, Nevada still 3-1 in conference. They still have hopes for a conference championship. Hawaii 3-3 on the season in the WAC. They must win out to remain bowl eligible. Joined this afternoon by the former BYU Cougar quarterback Blaine Fowler. Each side, their swagger not quite so great this week after last week, but they still have a lot to play for.
Well, a few mental scars coming off those tough losses to two of the best teams in the conference. You got to put that behind you, though, and you got to go out and play. And both these teams a lot to play for. Bowl eligibility on the line. Nevada can't afford to lose much down the line here, and for Hawaii, they have to win out if they expect to go bowling in December.
Well, the offensive numbers for both of these teams have been outstanding, and it starts with the two men under center.
For Hawaii, Brennan has been outstanding all year. Last week, 35 of 54, 327 yards, but 2 interceptions to just 1 touchdown. 8 times in the red zone, they struggled to put the ball in the end zone. For the Wolfpack on the other side, Jeff Rowe, a veteran quarterback, started all of last year, has been an outstanding decision maker. At Boise State last week, he struggled. 21 of 38, 307 yards was adequate, but 4 interceptions, just 1 touchdown. Chris Ault described it uncharacteristic. He has to make better decisions if they have a chance this afternoon.
The offense continues to garner headlines, but will it be the best defensive effort this afternoon that walks away with the victory? It's Hawaii and Nevada, a WAC shootout coming up next. Fans still filing into Mackay Stadium. Nevada and Hawaii, as we're into November, time to start thinking about, can you make a bowl game? Nevada leads the series by 1 game, but each side plays a whole lot better when they're at home.
Well, that's for sure. Hawaii has been very good on their home field, and since June Jones has been there, they've made a little bit of turnaround. They've been able to play better on the road than they have historically. So he's trying to overcome that reputation that they can't play on the road.
61 degrees currently. The winds picked up pretty good yesterday afternoon. That would be a deterrent to both sides. We like to put the ball in the air, but it should be a very pleasant afternoon. The junior quarterback, Jeff Rowe, looking to bounce back this afternoon after the disappointing game a week ago.
Well, he struggled with his decision-making. We talked to Chris Ault, the head coach, about it. He said it's uncharacteristic for Jeff Rowe. He has been a steady quarterback. He's run the offense as they'd like him to. He just had a game that was poor, and that happens to quarterbacks. For Colt Brennan, on the Hawaii side, they put up the numbers again last week. It's nothing for this Hawaii offense to produce 300 yards through the air. The problem last week was they get down in the red zone and stall. Bad decision-making, drop balls, problems in the red zone. And for this offense to be effective, they have got to score when they have scoring opportunities deep in the opponent's territory.
Some of those problems can become contagious, if you will, and you start to get into the mode of, oh, geez, here we go again. Each side looking to get off to a good start this afternoon. Hawaii won the toss, and they elect to receive. The Warriors will take the ball first. Brett Jekyll set to tee it up and kick it down to A.J. Martinez, number 34, the lone deep back for the Warriors. And we're underway from Mackay Stadium. Martinez will let this one sail over his head, and the Warriors offense will operate from the 20 to start the game. Colt Brennan set to come out on the field, and his numbers are brought to you by Dex.
2,777 yards at this point in the season. Big shoes to fill for Colt Brennan. The great Timmy Chang, who is the all-time leading passer in NCAA history, are the shoes that he's had to step into, and he's done a great job so far this year of throwing the football around in this run-and-shoot offense for June Jones.
On first down, shovel pass underneath. Law, who rushed for 95 yards last week, moves the ball 10 yards before he's finally tackled by Ezra Butler. Starting lineups brought to you by the City Platinum Select Card for college students. Offensive line for the Warriors, Fa'avi and Eaton. The pair of seniors anchor it, the center and right guard. Backs and receivers keep an eye on number 7, Devon Bessie, their leading receiver. True freshman, has 64 receptions and 9 touchdowns. They still have a month of football left to play.
Well, they've got a couple of great young receivers in this Hawaii program right now.
Law again on the shovel pass, finds a little bit of room, and he'll pick up another 10 yards. Kevin Stanley makes the tackle. Wolfpack defensively running the 3-4 this year. Craig Bailey with the sack and a half. The senior, Hines and Wilson. And the linebacking core, Jeremy Ingstrom in the middle. And the defensive backs, Joe Garcia played very well last week, got a big interception. He has 2 on the year for the Wolfpack. 2 plays for Hawaii, 2 first downs. Brennan to the air, pass complete. Ryan Grice-Mullen makes the catch, but he is quickly knocked down by Joe Garcia after a gain of 2.
When defensively against this run-and-shoot offense, you've got to be patient. You got to stay back, force Hawaii to throw the ball underneath, which is what they do here. They throw it on the quick arrow, and then you come up and make good plays like Joe Garcia did here. Nice, solid, open field tackle. You can give up 1- and 2-yard throws. You've got to force Hawaii to take 9, 10, 11 plays to drive down the field, and they'll make a mistake in that period of time.
21 seasons on the sideline for Chris Ault, the Hall of Fame head coach, looking to get this program back to championship caliber. Ross Dickerson goes in motion. We have a timeout on the field, and Hawaii spends their first timeout of the afternoon. You talk so much about Hawaii and the way they throw the ball, but in last year's bowl game, they really got ahead and put Nevada back on their heels with their running game, taking a little bit of a similar approach to start today.
Well, and they've got a solid running back in Alawa who can get up the field and run the football. And when they spread you out the way they do with 4 wides, and you have that single back, all of a sudden you're so concerned with coverage. As a snap of the football, you start in your back pedal, they run the football at you, it can create problems. And so, as you mentioned, Rich, that's what Hawaii did early in the game last year in Aloha Stadium, and caused Nevada some problems. So I know that in preparation this week that Nevada has talked about the throw, but they've also said, you know what happened this last year? You've got to come up and aggressively play the run as well. It's a tough thing to ask your kids to do on defense.
And so much of what the kids have been asked to do as you look at the head coach for the Warriors, June Jones, who has a pretty good NFL resume, 7 seasons back at Hawaii, played in college at the University of Oregon and at the University of Hawaii, finishing up his career there the final 2 years, but former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons and the San Diego Chargers. And the Chargers were interested in signing him to a long-term deal, and June said aloha.
Yeah, he's done a great job, too. He turned around a program that was just in disarray and struggling, and one of the great turnarounds in NCAA history, and they've been solid in the 6 years since he's been there.
After the timeout, they go back to the ground. Penalty marker flies as Ilawa tries to burrow ahead. He gets to the 45, and we'll check the marker, resting at the 38. Bill McCabe, this afternoon's official. 5 yards against Hawaii.
For this Hawaii offense, as you mentioned,
the Wolfpack will elect to.
Yeah, they'll take the no gain on the play and bring up 3rd down. I was going to mention this Hawaii offense, #1 in the conference in passing offense at 375 yards a game. Also #1 in total offense at 455. And then Nevada on the other side, #2 in passing offense. We expect to see the ball in the air.
On 3rd down, Brennan to the sideline, spinning around and unable to reel it in is Jordan Sly. Single coverage by Kevin Stain. It'll be 4th down, and Hawaii will punt.
Nevada on the play decides to come with a blitz to force the hand of the Hawaii offense. Get to the quarterback quickly, force him to get rid of the football before he's comfortable. That throw early, and Nevada makes a good play. They gambled right there with the blitz.
Brennan, tough quarterback to sack. He will just either throw it away or air one out, where the only person who has a chance to make the catch is his receiver. That time it falls in favor of the Wolfpack. Kurt Milne on to punt. Kevin Stanley back deep. Gets it to turnover. Stanley from the 9. Left side, finally forced out of bounds. And Jeff Rowe, he has been chomping at the bit after last week to get back out on the field and show what he's made of.
Oh, you're exactly right, Rich. When you're a quarterback and you have a poor outing, you can't wait to get back out there and get after it again so you can put it behind you. This is great therapy to be out here on the field for Jeff Rowe. He's been solid all year. He's been completing 61% of his passes, has over 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns. And up to this point, he only has 8 interceptions on the season, 4 of those coming last week in his effort at Boise State.
And Jeff's numbers brought to you by Dex. From the pistol formation, play action. Rowe trying to flip it to his tight end Puduel, but instead it's knocked down. Warrior defense, Kila Kamakawiwo'ole. So now, Blaine, I know you spent all week working on those Hawaiian names. These a little easier as we take a look at the Wolfpack starting lineup. Freshman center Dominic Green has filled in admirably. They will need a big afternoon for #8, the senior B.J. Mitchell. They will also see a lot of #19, Robert Hubbard, from that running back position. Chris Ault wants to establish the run, but Hawaii's front 4 is good. Quick pass, far sideline. Nichiren Flowers makes the catch and gets knocked down quickly. Hawaii defensively solid up front are the Warriors. And you get those nice, large, heavy Samoan lads, and they can take up a blocker or two. And the linebacking core is active, and those front 3 keep them clean. And defensive backs, Nevada liking what they've seen in this Hawaii secondary on film. Wolfpack looking to take a few shots deep. Rowe with backside pressure, and he is hammered by Kamakawiwo'ole. Knocked down the play on 1st down, and on 3rd down he sends Rowe to the turf, and Nevada will punt.
Well, Kamakawiwo'ole coming off the backside, and you see they release the receiver on that backside. Nobody steps out and picks up. Jeff Rowe does not feel the pressure coming. Sometimes as a quarterback you can feel this. This happens so quick, and because he comes untouched, a big loss, and Nevada will now have to punt the football. 5 sacks before that one, so make it number 6 for Mr. Kamakawiwo'ole.
Justin Bergendahl on to punt. He gets this one to turn over. Fielded at the 40 and quickly being knocked down is A.J. Martinez. And with 11:09 remaining, we have a timeout here in Reno. Welcome back to Nevada, hometown fans enjoying the start of this one. And students out having a good time, current students and future Nevada students.
2 punts early here in the game, and as we stay in town here, when you come to Nevada, you have to go look at the betting lines just to see what the experts think. These guys do more research than anyone else, and they had the over-under at 63.5. So the experts think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. You and I, we don't know. But I would have to agree that these offenses will get in a rhythm, and we'll see some scoring in this football game.
Brennan faces a little pressure, rolls, and then throws incomplete. Looking for Ryan Grice-Mullen, second leading receiver on this Hawaii team. Tell you what, he had Devon Best streaking down the middle, but pressure by Nevada's defense spoiled the effort.
And the key is when you bring pressure, you've got to get to the quarterback. You can't allow the receivers to run free. And you see the pressure comes. Good defense that time by Nevada, and the secondary people covered where Brennan had an opportunity to go. If you've got a man in his face, he can't step up, set his feet, and throw it deep down the middle of the field.
Second down and 10 from the 41. Brennan with time, shoots a quick one over the middle, pass is complete to Ross Dickerson. Gets it to the 47 before he's drugged down by Scott Garrison, the junior from San Luis Obispo. Clearwire wireless broadband is high-speed internet that moves with you. That is always a good sight and sound on an autumn Saturday.
That's what college football is all about the fans and beautiful autumn colors and the bands. I guess it's a little bit about football on the field too.
Third down, swings it out, complete to Beth, and the freshman gonna reverse his field, slips a tackle, and then gets surrounded by a pack of Nevada defenders and finally brought down. But there is just a flash of number 7. May have been better just to put his head down and tuck it up, but he is slippery.
It looked like NFL rules football to me out here, because I thought Devon Best was down. You take a look as he goes down here. Is he not sitting on the ground right there? And the whistle should have been blown. And everybody actually paused for a second as he reversed his field. Everyone realized the whistle had not blown. And so he ends up losing more yards. He did not have the first down yardage when he went down in the first place. So no harm, no foul by the officials here.
Milne's punt is down at the 30. Wolfpack will get the ball back, and each side offensively starting a little slower than we may have expected.
And we talk about total offense. Hawaii number 1 in the conference at 455. Nevada's number 3, right behind Boise State at 429 yards a game. They can put some yardage up offensively out there out of this, as you mentioned, pistol offense. He's a little closer to the center than the typical shotgun, and the back line's up behind him. So Chris Ault has invented this new offense he calls the pistol.
Ball first touched at the 30. That is where the Wolfpack will get it. So we'll see the pressure and the defensive efforts. Hawaii's defensive coordinator is Jerry Glanville, and former NFL coach with Houston and Atlanta, architect of the Grits Blitz, and he's not afraid to send them from all places that we have seen early. Rowe flips it underneath. It's the tight end Adam Bishop, and he pounds it up to the 43-yard line. So a little wrinkle in the Wolfpack offense to account for the blitzing defense by Mr. Glanville, the man in black.
Well, and what a great cut block by Barrett Resnick, the strong guard, number 70. He's going to get out in front of him. Look at him pull. Watch him up the field. Boom. Right there's the cut block that creates that seam. And you get those big boys up the field 5 and 6 yards cutting on linebackers and defensive backs. You've done all right offensively running the football.
13-yard gain. Makes it 1st and 10, and Jeff Rowe doesn't like what he sees and calls a timeout. Wolfpack spend their first timeout of the half. Rowe will go to the sideline and visit with his head coach. We'll be back to Mackay Stadium right after this. Still scoreless here in Nevada. Wolfpack hosting Hawaii, and we expected a little bit of a shootout, but you know the weather, it's nice. It's going to get a little warmer as long as the wind stays away, and we can hope that the offenses heat up with the temperatures as the afternoon progresses.
Well, and these defenses, both teams play a 3-man front and bring a variety of blitzes, and these offenses just need to settle in and get a little bit of a rhythm here, and I think we'll see some offensive output before this thing is all over.
Rowe throws it, sideline incomplete, looking number 89, Mike McCoy, and Jeff floated one a little bit too tall. Now, Chris Ault talked about number 3 is the guy. He is definitely our guy. Disappointed in his performance last week. If he doesn't play well today to start it, we could see a little bit of number 12, Travis Moore.
And Jeff Rowe, he's a local guy. I mean, he's right from here in Reno, Nevada, McQueen High School, so a high school hero here in his hometown playing quarterback for the Wolfpack. Big guy at 6'5" and 220 pounds, can make all the throws. And he's been a solid decision maker. His percentage is up. Last year was about 51%. This year he's at 61%. That's good.
2nd and 10. Here's rush. It's picked up. Incomplete off the hands of Neitchman Flowers. Solomon Elamimian, the freshman linebacker, covering number 84, trying to stay with them step for step.
And this is a ball that should be caught. Jeff Rowe puts it on the hands of Flowers out on the outside, who's been a reliable receiver all year. He's number 2 on this team. He's got a 31-game reception streak going, where he's caught at least one ball in 31 consecutive games. He's the leading receiver a year ago, but the coverage was there. The ball was there. A ball should have been caught. It was dropped.
On 3rd and 10. Low pressure, spins away, keeps his feet, and now floats one, and it is incomplete. Looking in the direction of Jack Darlington, but equal opportunity for Kamakawiwo'ole, who may have had the best chance of anybody to pull that one in.
Well, and for Hawaii, the key here, they get to the quarterback, get pressure with only 4-man rush. So they bring 4. If you can get to the quarterback with that kind of quickness with a 4-man rush, you're going to be in great shape all afternoon because there's enough people in coverage and you're not having to take chances. And so for Nevada, they have got to do a better job of protection. With a 4-man rush, they have got to give Jeff Rowe some time.
Justin Bergendahl sends a directional kick that A.J. Martinez lets bounce, and it will be downed at the 9-yard line. Well done by the Wolfpack punter.
And he's been pretty solid, a 41.8-yard average. That is his 10th inside the 20 this season.
Take a look at PokerStars.com out-of-town scoreboard, where poker players become world champions. The Irish leading the Volunteers 21-10. It was a big upset special. North Carolina State and Florida State. Chuck Amato and Bobby Bowden certainly know each other well.
Well, Alabama with a great resurgence this year. It's been fun to watch them do well. Big game in the Pac-10 there with Oregon and Cal. How about Notre Dame this year? Wow, Charlie Weiss has done a terrific job there.
Ilawa gets swallowed up immediately. Defense stiffening for the Wolfpack. Ezra Butler, the sophomore from Calabasas, waiting for Nate. He's saying, you know, I need a little bit of room to try to get some positive yardage.
1 yard positive, right?
And Hawaii effectively ran the football, but right now Nevada thinking run, deep in Hawaii territory, thinking run, loading up the line of scrimmage a little bit, getting those linebackers playing downhill and attacking the run in this situation. Now they'll think throw on second down.
2nd and 11. Brennan, quick hitter on the out. It is complete on the far sideline, so that'll get some positive yardage. Ross Dickerson able to pull it in.
Dickerson with his 35th reception on the season. He's got a couple of touchdowns. He's averaging about 55 yards a game. He runs these timing routes. If that's run correctly and the ball's thrown on time, it's so difficult to defend. If you're not in press coverage and they run that quick speed out and the ball's up like Brennan got it up that time, it's very difficult to defend that.
Hawaii looking for their first 3rd down conversion this afternoon. 3rd and 4 pass is caught. The defense is there immediately. Devon Bess makes the catch. Sergio Villasenor able to knock him down quickly, but they'll get enough for the first down and move the chains.
Well, and Bess, what a story he has been as a freshman out of Oakland, California. He has really gotten it done. He's number 1 in the WAC in receptions per game at 8 a game. He's got 64 catches already this season, averaging 96 yards a game. He really is something for a true freshman.
Brennan on first down, plenty of time, finds a receiver. It's Best again, and he steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So Devon Bess, you know, Colt Brennan, the sophomore, Bess, a freshman, and Ryan Grice-Mullen, the 2nd best receiver on this team, a freshman as well.
Yeah, this is a young, talented team. Watch, the key here is protection. Nevada not able to get to the quarterback. Bess started out, as you see on the ISO shot that time, all the way on the right side of the formation, came all the way across the field. And if you're a DB, that's tough to chase him all the way across and run past those linebackers and not run into anybody. You see Bess's numbers on the season. We just mentioned those 9 touchdowns to go along with all that yardage.
Another first down. Brennan all day. And finally, wisely just throws it away. Savvy play by Colt Brennan. Finally just throw one away. Roosevelt Cooks able to get a lick on him.
Boy, and Cooks really laid it on Brennan that time. You see June Jones talking about the coverage downfield. And you think he's seen a few coverages in his time. He played for a long, long time professionally. And he knows what he's talking about as a quarterback. That's got to be nice to go to the sideline and talk to a guy that you know is seeing what you're trying to see out there. The Roosevelt Cooks laid it on Colt Brennan that time.
4 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. Love shedding tacklers and then finally tripped up, but not before he rips off a gain of 24. An 80 Law on the inside handoff, and that play was so effective against this Wolfpack defense a year ago.
Boy, and Ilawa doing a great job this time of seeing where to go, looking for the opening. The play starts out to the left. He sees the cut back lane on the right-hand side. I'll tell you what, he moves pretty well for a 5'9", 248-pounder. He sat out all of last year recovering from knee surgery from the previous season, so great opportunity for him to come back as a senior and play the way he's playing for the Warriors.
38 on first down. Ilawa again lowers his shoulder. And Villasenor finally able to get him down along with Roosevelt Cooks, but number 4 using all 248 pounds to push it forward.
And here you see the same type of play. They get the ball deep in the backfield and they're zone blocking up front, and they just allow Nate Ilawa to pick the hole, pick his way through. It's just a read for him all the way. Well, he brings a load at the end of his run. You better get your feet set and your backside down or you're going to get run over.
Mario Cox now in as the lone back. Brennan throws it to Cox, who gets it down to the 16-yard line. So Hawaii's offense marching down the field on this drive. They have found a rhythm.
Well, and started with a couple of quick throws. You start. That's what's great about this offense. It seems like it's stagnant for a little while, and all of a sudden your quarterback starts to get in a rhythm. You start to hit some underneath things, and everything starts working. You get the defense on their heels. This time he goes to Cox on the quick screen. A rule of thumb for defenders, if it seems like it's too easy to get to the quarterback, it probably is. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a screen pass.
First down from the 16. Cox gets the handoff, turns it upfield, and we'll get 5 down to the 11. Sergio Villasenor, the sophomore from Whittier. Boy, he has seen enough of Ilawa and Mario Cox. Poor Sergio seems like he's in the way the last 4 plays. His head might be ringing a bit.
They're both big physical backs, too. Cox at 232 pounds, as you saw there, and they can bring it at the end of a run. And Nevada in rushing defense ranks 6th in the conference. They give up 161 yards a game, so Hawaii coming in here probably feeling like they can move the ball on the ground, especially out of this spread offense.
And we'll have whistles and a penalty flag. Bill McCabe, our referee this afternoon.
Illegal snap, number 59, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So Derek Faavi, the center from Ewa Beach, is whistled for an improper snap. Probably slid the ball a little bit before he snapped it up to the quarterback. He's been in there. He's the center in the center of all the calls and everything there in the middle of that line. 4th year as a starter. Started the last 3 games of his freshman year, and he's been there ever since.
2nd and 10 following the penalty. Brennan flips it complete. Ilawa quickly swallowed up and brought to the turf by Roosevelt Cooks, the senior from Yosemite, the leading tackler on this Wolfpack defense.
And he read this perfectly from the beginning. You take a look at him. He sees it, slips to the outside. He was reading the back. Sometimes you get lucky and you're in a man-to-man when a screen's coming. And it looked to me that time he was in man and he had Allow a man-to-man. So he read Allow as he stepped up, slid to the outside. He ran with him, made a good play. He's got excellent speed, closing speed to the football. The senior, as you mentioned, number 1 on this team in tackles with 46 coming into this football game.
3rd and 8. Brennan throws incomplete, and there's going to be a penalty. Ross Dickerson didn't have his head around Mike Samples and Villasenor over there on the coverage, and a flag comes in.
When you see Chris Ault saying, hey, the ball was over his head, and he's right, the ball was up in the air. Let's listen to the call.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Hawaii catches a break. Ball now down at the 2. So Mike Samples, the freshman, in pretty good coverage, but they're a little bit too soon.
And the ball thrown high and hot that time. Had a lot of velocity on it. And watch Brennan comes back. And what happens is that the official that calls it is the backside official, the line judge. You put that right, you'd strip it with your left, but if you have that right hand wrapped around, which Samples did, you're going to draw that flag every time.
Ilawa will try to push it to the goal line, and he is stacked up and pushed backward. Everybody in blue jersey stacking the middle.
That looked like a rugby scrum that time. Down on the inside. A lot of these guys grew up playing rugby.
Ezra Butler continues to be active for the Wolfpack defensively. Run and shoot offense, so sexy from 20 to 20, but you get in tight, and sometimes you have to be able to put your hand down and push the pile.
I've always felt like to be effective at scoring, you've got to be able to run the football. Regardless of what formation you're in, you get inside the 10, you have to have a run threat or it gets really difficult to score down there.
2nd and goal. And this time they can run and get the first touchdown of the afternoon. Ilawa gets his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, and you mentioned sometimes you got to be able to just push people off the line of scrimmage, and the Hawaii Warriors up front did a nice job that time of creating a seam. And Ilawa gets through there at 248. If there's one guy that's going to meet him at the end zone, he's going to get in, that's for sure.
Dan Kelly's point after attempt is blocked by the Wolfpack. So it will hold at 6-0.
And when you've got a matchup where both teams are capable of scoring a lot of points, every point is important. You cannot afford to miss extra points or have them blocked.
They give up the touchdown but deny the point after. Welcome back to Mackay Stadium. Hawaii gets on the board first. 12 plays, 92 yards, 5 minutes, 24 seconds on the scoring drive.
And you see Hawaii has been very good when they get on the board first at 3-1. And it's disaster for them if the opponent scores first at 0-4. And time of possession is going to start to play a factor here in terms of Nevada's defense. Hawaii now here in the first quarter has had it 9 minutes and 18 seconds, and Nevada only 2:25. We got 7 plays total for Nevada for 9 yards, 1.3 yards a play. This Nevada offense, this is step-up time right now for them. They've got to do 2 things: create some momentum, and they've got to give the defense a little bit of a rest. They need to put something together, even if they don't get points. They've got to put some consistency and a couple of first downs together to let that defense rest.
Robert Hubbard from the goal line, and he goes straight ahead, lowering his shoulder to the 23-yard line. There's number 19, junior here for the Nevada Wolfpack. He and B.J. Mitchell have made a pretty good 1-2 punch. They're putting number 19 back to return what has been an anemic kick return game for the Wolfpack.
Well, and Chris Ault really likes Robert Hubbard. He thinks that he can be big time before he leaves here in another year as an explosive player. I like how he attacks that kick return. He just went vertical and got after it full speed.
3:12 remaining, first quarter. Rich Cellini, Blaine Fowler. 6-0 lead for Hawaii. They got the touchdown, but the point after was blocked. And Nevada has been able to do absolutely nothing offensively. From the 24, B.J. Mitchell puts his head and shoulders down, and number 8, senior from the Sacramento area, burrows his way up for +4, but a flag flies.
The flag came in late. Very end of that run. When Mitchell.
Face mask, number 67. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the first down.
Little hands in the mask at the end of that run gives Nevada a 5-yard penalty and automatic first down. As I say, B.J. Mitchell, 5'8", 210, got great quickness. He's a powerful back, and he's averaging just over 95 yards a game rushing. Nevada has a little more balance offensively than Hawaii. They rank 4th in the conference in rushing offense at 152 yards a game. So they like to do a little bit of both. In this pistol formation, Chris Ault feels like gives them an opportunity to run the ball a little bit better with a back behind the quarterback rather than the traditional shotgun where the quarterback's the deepest in the backfield and all your handoffs have to be inside handoffs. He feels like they can effectively run it out of this a little bit better.
Well, the head coach not afraid to innovate and try new things. Very successful in his 2+ decades walking the Wolfpack sidelines. It's now first down and 2 following the penalty. Mitchell straight ahead is stood up, but breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and spins off up to the 40-yard line. So that's the type of effort Nevada hoped to see from number 8. Former Sacramento Bee Player of the Year from Del Oro High School, just over the Sierra Nevada Mountains, and the strongest player from the waist down wearing blue.
Yeah, he has got a powerful lower body, squats over 500 pounds, which is something for a guy that only weighs 210. You talk about strength to weight ratio. This guy has it, and it's tough to bring down. You can't just hit him and expect that he's going to go. You have got to wrap up and squeeze those legs together, or he'll keep on going.
Play action on first down. Rowe throws complete. Caleb Spencer gets spun out of bounds by For Marion Moreland, Caleb Spencer, it's always a head-scratcher how number 87 didn't end up going to the University of Hawaii.
Right out of Honolulu, Hawaii at 6 feet and 180 pounds. Of course, he went the JC route first, came to the mainland, to Palomar Junior College, and then transferred in. Top receiver for this team this year. He's done very well. That's a beautiful throw on the run by Jeff Rowe. Everybody always says, oh, rolling to your left, it's tough. But as any quarterback will tell you, when you roll to the left, it forces you to square your shoulders. It's actually easier to be accurate rolling to your left if you can get your shoulders around than to the right.
Mitchell on first down. Wrapped up in a hurry by Solomon Elamimian, a freshman out of Los Angeles. And we have a Warrior down, wearing white, and the training staff will be out to attend. Minute 47 remaining, first quarter. Hawaii leading Nevada. We mentioned Hawaii must win out to become bowl eligible. They play 12 games this year. Lafa'ele, the sophomore out of Honolulu, Michael now sitting up, and that's a positive sign. But Hawaii, 12 games on the season, and you have to be above 500 to be bowl eligible, so they need to win out. And June Jones, they have been very successful under his watch. 11 years in the NFL. This Hawaii job is his first collegiate head coaching job.
Well, and he's where he wants to be. I mean, he, as you mentioned, he's had opportunities to go other places. He had opportunities before he went there, and he wanted to get back to the islands, to the place that he loves, and resurrect a program that was once a great and proud program that had fallen on hard times. And he'd done a tremendous job of bringing them back to a team that, I'll tell you what, people don't want to go over there and play him. That's for sure. And the road record has improved since he's been there. So he's done a great job. Lafa'ele, out of Honolulu, 297-pound sophomore, backed up on the offensive line last year, and they moved him over, and he's starting to nose tackle and doing a good job in the middle of that defensive front, that three-man front for the Warriors.
This is the final road game of the season for Hawaii. Then it's Utah State, and then Wisconsin on the 25th, and then San Diego State on the 3rd. And there is our big play of the quarter, presented by Xbox Live. It's good to play together. That may leave a mark.
Yeah, that's never fun when you don't feel it coming. And some guys just have a great feel. You wonder how they, you talk about, they have eyes in the back of their head. Some guys just can tell when they're coming backside, and other guys just don't have that. I don't think you can coach it. But Jeff Rowe didn't feel it that time.
2nd and 9, back to action. They try the middle screen, and again it's knocked down. So the Warrior defense saw something on film that they liked and able to get those hands up. Mila Purcell, the senior, will bat another one down.
Purcell coming in. See him get up. You teach D linemen, if you can't get to the quarterback, when you see him raise his arm, you elevate. You get in the passing lane. And Purcell did a great job that time of getting up in the air, getting both hands, and knocking that one down. The senior from Pago Pago, American Samoa.
You ever been to Pago Pago?
I would love to go. I've got some great friends from Samoa, and they've told me that we need to go down there and visit, but I have never made it down.
Put that on your list of things to do.
I flew by there on my way to New Zealand, but I had the urge to get off the plane, but they wouldn't let me.
And there's an urge that's satisfied. Rowe to Caleb Spencer, and that gives this crowd something to cheer about. 3-87.
Oh, and just a beautiful route. And the key to this is protection. He's dropped back, has time. There's nobody in his face, and Spencer's able to go down, plant, fake to the inside, and make that lean to the inside and break on the out. 23-yard gain for the transfer from Palomar Junior College. You see his numbers this season: 41 receptions, 556 yards, 56 yards. Last year, 67 receptions for 461 yards and 7 TDs. So he is the man at wide receiver for this Nevada offense.
Rowe, another little flip inside. And again, they'll run the tight end, Adam Bishop, sophomore from Santa Rosa. And he's able to plow ahead. So that little wrinkle and shovel pass in this offense has worked well.
Really, this is a triple option of sorts. You have the option to pitch it back inside. You could pitch it back to the tailback, or the quarterback could keep it and run. That one, I'm sure, is a called shuffle pass. People think it's dangerous. Not really that dangerous, because if you don't complete it, it's an incomplete pass. Even though it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it's a forward pass. If it gets knocked to the ground, it's not a fumble. It's just an incomplete.
Time winding down in the first quarter. Nevada marching. Rowe rolling left. Throws incomplete. Looking for Caleb Spencer.
Well, you get
down near the goal line, and he had a short receiver open.
Yeah, he did. And we have an open booth here that we're working in, Rich. It's interesting. You can hear the crowd right below us. And as Jeff Rowe was approaching line of scrimmage, I'm going to reenact it for you right here. The crowd's going, "Run! Run!" They were screaming, "Run!" He could have run for another 10 yards, and receivers were well covered in the end zone. As you mentioned, he had an underneath guy open, but he could have run for 10 yards, but didn't have that mindset on that play. The fans sure wanted it.
Third and 3. Rowe looked to change the play and then calls a timeout as the play clock was winding down towards 0. And that was some of the trouble last week. Nevada so inefficient inside the 20. And Coach Ault talked about that Jeff has been so good all year getting us into the right formations that in last week some of that didn't get done.
Yeah, and sometimes you have that kind of game, and you hate to have it against a team that's as good as Boise State. When you're not playing mentally well against a really good football team, they will take it to you, and that's what Boise State did last week against this Wolfpack squad. And again, when we talked to Chris Ault this week, we said, well, is this a problem? He said, no, it's uncharacteristic for Jeff Rowe. It's uncharacteristic for this offense, and he would expect that he would play well this afternoon against Hawaii.
Well, Blaine, you played on a lot of pretty good teams there in BYU, and talk a little bit about that confidence factor. And Boise State and Fresno State have it, that everybody from the redshirt freshmen all the way to the fifth-year seniors just are convinced in their mind that they're going to win every time they take the field.
And it's a huge advantage to have a program that's on a roll like that, where even, as you mentioned, a freshman right out of high school comes in, they immediately feel that from the upperclassmen, and they expect that they'll win every time they step out on the field. And when you expect to win, you play with confidence, and all of a sudden there's no tentativeness with how you go about what you're doing out there. And that's the little edge that you need to win close football games. And Boise State and Fresno State have that in great amounts. They've created great programs. That's what Chris Ault would like to create here at Nevada, and that's what June Jones is trying to create at Hawaii.
3rd and 3. Mitchell up the middle. Stacked up, but pushes it forward, and it's going to be a Wolfpack first down. Oh, there's nothing fancy about that 3rd down effort. Give it to the senior, B.J. Mitchell, and let him, if he gets his average, they're in good shape, and he did.
So his numbers averaging 5 yards a carry. He's a solid running back. And this offensive line does a good job of run blocking. I can tell you, offensive linemen like the opportunity to run the football once in a while. They want to come off and hit somebody and not retreat all the time and pass protect.
And that inside pitch again, incomplete pass. Bishop unable to hold it, and Adam, the sophomore, had his head looking toward the goal line before he had the ball secured.
We just talked about that a minute ago. Everybody's so worried about that play. They think it's a high-risk play, and if you could hear it on your television set at home, there was a collective "oh" as the ball went on the ground, and then they realized it was an incomplete pass. Everybody thinks it's a fumble.
Missed opportunity on first down makes it 2nd and 10. Rowe throws, caught into the end zone, touchdown. Caleb Spencer, 11 yards, his 5th receiving touchdown of the year.
Caleb Spencer's been the guy all year. as he acknowledges the crowd after that touchdown. Well-designed play action pass. Got the linebackers to step up. The secondary to just hesitate from a seat. The linebacker stepping up, think and run. That creates space. Defensive backfield, a little slow reacting to the route. And Caleb Spencer, the Kamehameha High School graduate, puts one in the end zone for Nevada.
Brett Jekyll on to attempt the point after. Kick is good, and the Wolfpack have a 7-6 lead with 3 ticks remaining in the first quarter. Well, this is a little bit more of what we expected, up and down the field.
Yeah, we expected more than 7-7 as we approach the end of the first quarter, but here it is. Little play action. They pull the guard out in front, make it look like run, and the defense all reacted to that run fake, and that allowed Caleb Spencer to be wide open right on the sideline as he snuck into that left corner of the end zone.
Second kick for the Wolfpack, number 13, Brett Jekyll.
Brett Jekyll sets the tee. 11 plays, 76 yards. More importantly, the Nevada offense, who had done nothing prior, responds well.
We talked about that on the last kickoff, that they had to do something. Even if they didn't get points, they had to move the chains a few times. Now this Nevada defense has had a chance to look at some things, to talk about adjustments, and to get a little bit of a rest before they have to go out there and face this good Hawaii offense again.
Jay Martinez from his own end zone. Cuts it back up the middle and finally tackled from behind. What a nice return up to the 25-yard line.
You remember before that drive, Nevada was averaging just over 1 yard per play. And that changed dramatically on that last series as they're up around 5 yards a play with a very effective drive into the end zone.
Welcome back. Well, we had said we're moving to the second quarter, and technically there is no time on the clock, but Roosevelt Cooks had a face mask penalty on the final play of the first quarter, and since no timed quarter can end on a defensive penalty, we will have one untimed down. So 15 yards tacked on to the return. Colt Brennan and company will have the ball at the 39-yard line. For one play until we'll turn it around and move to the second quarter. Handoff inside on first down, and Hilawa gets a modest gain of 3 on the final play of the first quarter.
Ezra Butler.
At the end of the half. End of the quarter.
Bill McCabe.
Yeah, that was great. He said that's the end of the half, and then he laughed over the PA to the fans and said, I mean the end of the quarter.
15 minutes, please.
So we'll switch sides of the field and come back to Mackay Stadium with 1-point ball game, 15 minutes in the books. Welcome back as we get ready for the start of the second quarter of play. Nevada 7, Hawaii 6. June Jones doing a little bit of work in between quarters. You never want to rest when you're the man on the sideline, always visiting with the men in stripes. And Jerry Glanville, his defensive coordinator, visiting as well. And Jerry has some of the all-time great lines on NFL films.
If you've ever watched those, he is hilarious. As an official, you actually would have to enjoy his interaction with you just because he's so funny. I'd have a hard time not laughing.
Second down, Brennan all day, and now time expires, and he is sacked. Nevada defensively stiffening a bit. Eric Clarks, the sophomore from Oceanside, puts him on the turf.
And just a great speed rush. And Nevada does this. They start with a 3-man rush and bring a linebacker late, so only 4. They really get to him with just 3 people coming around that back edge. Look how quickly he turns that corner and gets to the quarterback. Nothing that Brennan can do with a football. Nice job that time with a speed rush from the outside.
Yeah, defensive end, Clark. relentless, and now it brings up 3rd down and long. Warriors need 13 for a first down. Sidearm is low for ball 2. Colt Brennan a little bit too low on that one. First quarter numbers brought to you by Clear Wireless Broadband, high-speed internet that moves with you.
The passing yard's not surprising. The thing that surprised you is that Nevada, who's had pretty good balance all year, only has 9 yards rushing in that first quarter, 43 for Hawaii, 109 and 80. And we thought we'd see a little more offense, but things are cooking here now. The other thing, the time of possession still in Hawaii's favor, but a nice drive in the last possession for Nevada. Kind of turned things around here in terms of momentum.
Robert Milne on the punt. Stanley is back, and he gets run into, and number 2 is down. That is, you're essentially defenseless and unintentional by the Hawaii defender, but still nonetheless Kevin Stanley is down, and that's the dangerous part of being a punt returner. He's looking toward the sky, and boy did he get whacked. Not a good sign. Nevada defensive backfield is thin, already missing 3 starters.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And take a look, and it really wasn't intentional, but boy, that's dangerous as you're looking up for the football. You know, you're just watching as well as you can. It looked like it was Peoples who came down and got legs tangled up that time. He's over there talking, saying, "What happened?" "Well, I didn't see him. You know, I tried to avoid him when I ran into him." And
Stanley able to get up and run off under his own power. That's a positive sign. Senior from Newport News, Virginia. 11 pass breakups this season. Leads the Wolfpack team. But they are thin in the defensive backfield, and they cannot afford to lose another player. Peoples picks up the penalty, and it's first down for the Wolfpack offense. DJ Mitchell in the backfield. BJ will get the carry on first down, lowers the shoulder, and is stacked up after a gain of 2. Warriors were ready for number 8.
This is a little counter trap play to the inside where they pull the guard and the backside tight end. Watch him. This play needs to get cut up inside. He needs to follow the tight end. He bounced it too far to the outside. You saw the tight end coming on the pole, and where he turns up, that's where the back should go. If there's a bubble there, and that time not a very good read by Mitchell the back. He had good blocking up front by Bishop, who cut it up for him.
Rowe to put it in the air, throws complete, no, incomplete, penalty flag is down. Spencer had it for a minute and then couldn't hold it, but a flag rests at the 46-yard line.
Trying to get the ball outside to Caleb Spencer that time.
Was the defense there too soon? Now penalties against the Wolfpack. Five-yard penalty. Does Hawaii want it, or they want them to just move on with the downs?
An ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the third down. Second down.
And what happens sometimes, you think, is that an offensive lineman? But it's either an offensive lineman, but sometimes what happens is someone gets covered up on the outside. And take a look at it. What they did was they covered the tight end, the tight end, on the inside, and he went upfield to block about 4 or 5 yards, and they'll give you about 3 yards inside there, but once you cross that, you're downfield illegally. And that's someone, if there was a slot on that side, would be able to go out for a pass, but he was covered up by the wide receiver.
Second down and 13. Rowe straight back. Wrapped up, throws, incomplete, able to get it away in the direction of Nitran Flowers. Adam Leonard, the freshman from Seattle, making Jeff Rowe hurry it.
Good pressure again from this front, this time bringing backers up the middle, and Jeff Rowe getting that pressure up the middle, gets rid of the football and avoids the loss, and Well, you mentioned Neitron Flowers, a name we haven't talked much about here early in this football game. He's a guy that comes into this game with 39 receptions, number 2 on this team, and 31 straight games of reception, but haven't heard from him at all yet.
Dropped the 1 pass early. That's the last time we've talked about number 84. Third down and long, and he goes Flowers' way, and it's incomplete. Flowers couldn't hold it. Aggressive defense breaks up the play, and the Wolfpack will have to punt.
Now, we've been talking about Flowers. He ran down and ran a curl route, just like he's going on a streak and then breaking back. The ball is there. You got to tuck it away, and he just cannot put the ball away. And he had the first down yardage. He was aware enough to go down and pass the sticks, but well played by Moreland that time, who made the big hit and separated Flowers from the football.
A.J. Martinez waits for Bergendahls' punt. Boy, does he get a foot in that one. Martinez lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 1. Take a bow, Justin Bergendahl. Well, that was pretty.
That was unbelievable. That's one of the best punts I've ever seen. The thing went up in the air, tremendous hang time, perfect spot. You couldn't throw a ball more perfect than that ball rotated off his foot and out of bounds on the 1. The perfect punt.
61 yards. Fans, log on to sportswest.tv. Your chance to win the ultimate garage and a new Dodge pickup. Custom built garage by Tough Shed Housing in a brand new 2005 Dodge Ram. Run and shoot offense. Colt Brennan and the Hawaii Warriors from their own end zone. Brennan with time. Down the middle. It's complete to Ross Dickerson, and he breaks another tackle, and if he goes, it's going to be 99 yards, but he's tripped up at the 10. We'll see where they spot him at the 11, and oh, you talk about pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Wow.
And Nevada came up and played press coverage underneath, and a good read that time by Brennan. He saw the safety move to his left to the defensive right and came back away from where the safety was, where he had press coverage and the defensive back trailing. Watch this read. He's looking at that safety right in the middle of your screen. Watch the safety. See the safety move to the left to help on the left side? He comes right back to the right. A good read by the quarterback, Brennan, to go to the open receiver away from where the help was on defense, and what a huge play for Hawaii.
87 yards on the completion. Tyler Grocke now in at freshman with that snap, and he pitches it in the option play. Only gets a yard or so. Elani got the pitch. Tyler Grocke still in the ball game under center for Hawaii.
And June Jones told us that Grocke was going to get an opportunity to play. Wanted to play him last week and wants to get him some experience, and didn't put him in the game. And great time to insert him. He comes up with some big plays.
That calls a timeout. Some folks who are cheering for the Warriors. Brought a good-looking flag.
Yeah, this is the time of year when everybody's starting to think about heading over to the warm weather. I don't know about, I guess people from Hawaii might want to come over and do a little bit of skiing in this part of the world.
Maybe.
It's just about that time. We're expecting some snow in the mountains the next couple of days, and it's about ski time. I'm ready to get the boards out of the garage and get ready to go.
Sun's still out here at Mackay Stadium. Hawaii 3-5 overall, 3-3 in the conference, needing to win out to remain bowl eligible. Tyler Grocke, the freshman from Tucson, Arizona, in the ball game, spelling Colt Brennan.
Not a great big guy, but in this offense, they move the quarterback around, quick throws. You don't have to be a giant to get it done in this spread offense. And June Jones likes to develop his core. He's got 2 good young ones. Brennan's just a sophomore. Gronke just a freshman.
Second down and 10 from the 12, following the 87-yard reception by Dickerson. Gronke going to put it up. Pressure over the middle behind his intended target, and incomplete. Kevin Stanley had eyes for the ball. Couldn't get to it. Devon Best, the intended receiver, and it'll be third down.
Well, tough throw because Garrison was in the face of Gronke. Watch as the blitz comes. He wants to set his feet and throw, but look at, he knows he's got that heat coming. He'd like to take another half a second to set his feet better, and that's why the ball's thrown behind. He had to just try to throw it all arm without feet.
Colt Brennan back in the game on 3rd and 10. Brennan moving around in the pocket, going to try to run, instead throws it complete to Bess. They'll mark it complete at the 4. It'll still be 4th down coming up. They need to get to the 2 for a first down.
And here you see the blitz coming again, and Brennan feeling that pressure, trying to buy it a little bit of extra time, and just as he's going down, he's able to get the ball to the outside. That's not enough for a first down, however, and so Hawaii's decision here. And Brennan coming back into the huddle. Looks like June Jones is elected to go for it here on 4th down.
2 for the first down, 4 for the touchdown. Brennan with time. Throws, caught, touchdown, Hawaii. That's an appropriate way to end the drive, 15-82. They did the heavy lifting earlier. Why not finish it? Ross Dickerson with his 3rd touchdown reception this season.
Oh, and the junior out of St. Louis High School had a lot of time to work on the outside. Nevada played zone that time and didn't bring a blitz on the rush, so there was time. The early routes were not open, but on the outside, even though you're playing zone, it's like man-to-man on the outside receiver, and the corner just lost track of where Dickerson was. Went to the inside and then broke back to the outside. Here's a look at Ross Dickerson. Boy, what a big drive for him. Big 2 plays. It was a 2-play drive almost. That's what it took.
They'll go for 2. And run the fade to the corner. And they'll give it to him. Conversion is good. Jordan Sly able to pull it down, and the official conferring that number 83 was forced out of bounds by the defense, so 2 points for Hawaii, and it's a 14-7 ball game. 11:38 remaining first half. Colt Brennan with the touchdown and the conversion.
Be here forever.
11:39 remaining first half. Hawaii 14, Nevada 7. 5 plays. How about that? 99 yards. We gave all the credit, rightfully so, to Justin Bergendahl and the beautiful 61-yard punt. But when you complete an 87-yard pass, that's one way to change field position in a hurry.
And a lot of people don't have the confidence to throw from their own 1-yard line, but June Jones certainly has the confidence to do that with this offense.
Dan Kelly with the win behind him forces Hubbard to down it in the end zone. Fans, go to sportswest.tv, click on the City link. Find out more about the City Platinum Select Card for college students. Apply today and receive a $50 statement credit after your first purchase made within 3 months. Use it for anything you'll need as a college student.
So again, Nevada finds itself with a need to respond, and this is going to be one of those games where these offenses get it up and going that you can't afford to blink. You've got to keep pace.
First down, B.J. Mitchell Tries the middle and gets 5 yards. That's what they need out of number 8, getting the offense into 2nd and 3rd down. And 5, 4, and 3 yards to pick up the first makes that playbook a lot thicker.
Mitchell, 668 yards coming into this game. 5-yard average, 6 touchdowns. And Chris Ault felt like they needed to run the ball effectively. He felt like to win this football game, they had to control the football a little bit running it.
And do it again here with the shovel pass to Jack Darlington, and he likes the freshman from Tucson, Arizona. Mentioned wanted to get him more involved in the offense, and that's one way. Jack able to pick up the Wolfpack first down.
Well, and this is a completion, so he gets a reception on the play, and he has 9 receptions, well, 10 now on the year if you count that one. Up over 100 yards on the season for the freshman. Right out of high school is Jack Darlington.
First down for the Wolfpack from the 33. Rowe hands off. B.J. Mitchell breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles and gets near another first down. And that's a spark and something that the offensive line and this entire Nevada team can rally around when you watch your captain running so inspired.
Oh, and Ault mentioned that they had to run the football effectively, and this is a guy, we've talked earlier about the leg strength that he has, great lower body strength, but you think about matchups. In rushing defense, Hawaii is 8th out of 9 teams in the conference. They give up 185 yards a game. That would be an area as the Wolfpack should be trying to exploit. Run the football, keep Hawaii's offense off the field, and mix in play-action pass with it.
BJ does pick up 10 yards and a Wolfpack first down. Mitchell 7 carries this afternoon for 54 yards. Nevada coming in understood how effective Hawaii's offense could be, and one of the ways to negate a good offensive team is not to give them the ball.
Fewer plays means less opportunity to score. That's the philosophy.
Mitchell again on first down, and this time the Warriors are waiting. But BJ, like all good backs, able to fall forward for +3. Tanuvasa Moye, the senior, to get number 8 around the legs and pull him down.
You see his numbers on the game: 8 rushes, 57 yards. And he's got to been steadily getting better every year. Back in 02, he had 232 yards, then 321 in 03, then 450 and a 4.5-yard average last year. And now this year, a 5-yard average, and hoping to be around 800 yards by the end of this game.
Second down and 7, and the play clock expired, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Wolfpack as Jeff Rowe audibled at the line, and that's one of those mental mistakes.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
One of those mistakes that is so frustrating for the Wolfpack head coach, Chris Ault.
When you break the huddle as a quarterback, you've got to train yourself that as you break the huddle, the first thing you look at is you look at the play clock to see how much time you have left, and then you make a mental note in your mind: do I have time to check off or do I not? And then you go through the reads in your mind. That's the first thing that you should look at. And so there's really no excuse for a quarterback to let that time clock expire. He should know where it's at on every play.
Following the penalty, second down, 13, Rowe with pressure, floats one downfield. He's got Spencer. It's incomplete, but there's going to be a penalty on Kenny Patton. Well, Caleb Spencer did a number on number 24.
Well, and Spencer was wide open that time, and if Jeff Rowe could set his feet, he's trying to get the ball up the field. Look how open he is, trying to get the ball up the field, but just can't get enough on it because he can't set his feet.
Number 15 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see it here, just kind of throwing on the run. We mentioned it's actually running to your right. You cannot generate a lot of torque as you're throwing across your body. You really can't get those hips through, and so just couldn't get enough on it to be a complete, but they'll get the interference call on Patton and move the ball into Hawaii territory.
Last time Hawaii took the lead, Nevada able to march the field and score the go-ahead touchdown. Can they respond here again? Flowers on the inside screen, and Nitrin leaps forward to the 41-yard line before Solomon Elamimian pulls his feet out from under him.
So for Flowers, his streak is alive. That's 32 consecutive games now with a reception. Well, he's had 2 drops already in this football game, and he's a senior leader. 3 varsity letters, been in this program. He redshirted in this program, so you'd expect him to make plays, and he's got to make plays if they're going to be successful. He's a good counterbalance to Caleb Spencer on the other side.
On the second down, Wolfpack to the air. Rowe, Flowers' way again. He catches it in front of Patton and picks up a Nevada first down.
So as we issue the challenge to Nitrin Flowers, he comes up with 2 receptions and answers there. So he goes up high for that one. He's a big target out there, too, at 6'3" and 210 pounds. 35 consecutive games.
Big game last week against Boise State. 9 receptions, 136 yards.
Can't even read my own writing.
Well, we'll talk about your penmanship grade later.
Can't read my own writing. I had him for 33 to 35.
First down and 10. Wolfpack driving. Rowe with a little option, pitches it to Hubbard, who does a stutter step. And steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line as well. They're marked number 19. First time his black shoe hit the white chalk. Junior from Emeryville, California, down in the San Francisco Bay Area. And he has good speed and is not afraid to get his nose dirty.
Well, and Chris Ault likes him because he's got the potential. He's got that 80-yard plus potential where he can make somebody miss, and then he's got that speed where he can take off and get you a huge play.
To the air on 2nd and 6. Rowe with time, and now it expires. He steps right up into the arms of Reynolds Fruan. And number 3 goes down. That one just a little bit too easy. 97 wasn't even making a push.
Yeah, and you teach quarterbacks to step up in the pocket. Now watch Jeff Rowe. You step up to avoid the outside rush. So here he steps up. Now set your feet. He keeps moving, keeps moving, keeps moving. His offensive linemen are going to turn around and say, Barrett Resnick's going to say, hey, what are you doing? I had him here, and you stepped right into him. You got to help me out here, man. I'm working hard. I'm getting the dirty work done. You got to stay back where you belong. So you step up inside of that outside rush and then set your feet. Let those guys create a pocket for you. Nice push that time by the defensive line.
Whistles before we get to our 3rd down and 11 play. We have a timeout on the field. 6:39 remaining in the first half. Hawaii leading Nevada by 7. .46 remaining in the first half of play in this WAC showdown between Hawaii and Nevada. Rich Cellini alongside Blaine Fowler. Silver hats for the Warriors. They're road whites. 3rd down and 11 for Nevada in their home blues. Rowe going to try to run it up the middle, and now does, I don't know what that was, Blaine, but it was ugly. And it's going to be 4th down and 11. And Coach Ault doesn't know what it was either. It's not what he called, that I can guarantee you.
I'm going to date myself, but it reminded me of the old Pac-Man game where you kind of get trapped and you just go back and forth and hope he can get away. And then, it got ugly at the end there. He was running around in circles. So it was a called quarterback draw, but he just needed to get it up the field and get going and get after it, get what he could. Got to go for it on 4th down here in that tweener area where really too long to attempt a field goal and probably shorter than you want it to be to punt. So go for it.
Try it on 4th and 11. Over the middle, pass is complete. They've got a first down inside the 5-yard line. The tight end, Anthony Puduel, the junior from El Dorado Hills, pulls it in. 15 13 receptions on the year for number 83, none bigger.
Well, and a huge fourth down play, and we're talking about not being able to blink on offense in a game like this where the two offenses are so potent. And good read, good play. What Jeff Rowe did well there, he looked to the left to make sure that the safeties moved off to the left and then came back inside to his tight end, moved the safety with his eyes, and came back to the big boy in the middle.
Handoff on the end around. Tommy Hogue, the freshman from Danville, stopped short of the goal line in another interesting wrinkle in this Nevada offense. Warriors were not fooled.
3-4, come up. 3-4.
Second and goal from the 3.
Two linebackers for the 3-4 guys. Get the linebackers. Get the two backers. Get ready. Get ready.
Play action Rowe with pressure, rolling, tripped up, throws incomplete, and he's out of the pocket, so no penalty. Third down and goal coming up. Kamakawiwo'ole has been really good today.
Boy, and he's been good all year, second on this team in tackles, and gets up the field. Watch him chase down. Jeff Rowe's got pretty good straight-ahead speed, and you see Kamakawiwo'ole does a nice job of running down. When he realized he wasn't going to catch him, he laid out. He had the effort there to lay out and take out the feet of the quarterback, Jeff Rowe. Nice play by number 1 on the defense for Hawaii.
Instead, they will give him a sack because they've marked it back at the 12-yard line. And with the play clock going down, it'll be third down. So Viole now has 2 sacks today.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
And he does not get the delay game, so another 5 yards. So a sack and a delay game. Viole now 7 sacks on the season, 2 this afternoon. And from first and goal after a fourth down conversion at the 3, Nevada headed the wrong direction.
And Jeff Rowe's getting a little bit of help from the fans here in his home field, Mackay Stadium, as that clock ticked down. They're very well aware of it because they've run up against it 2 or 3 times, and so you heard the crowd start to go, come on, get the play off. And I guess you're not supposed to listen to the crowd, but they're trying to give him a little help here.
Third and goal. Rowe throws complete. Spencer going to turn it up. Be wrapped up and stopped at the 9-yard line. Moreland able to knock him to the turf. 87 was bracketed well.
Well, and well played by Hawaii. They kept the ball in front. They knew where the first down markers were. That was the way you play. A third and long, that's the way you play it.
Brett Jakelon to attempt a field goal.
Watch your face. Watch your face.
27-yard attempt. Jekyll 7 for 9 on the season. And it's good. 3 more points for the Wolfpack. Makes it 14-10. With a little bit more than 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Timeout. Welcome back. Hawaii leading Nevada 14-10. 4:05 remaining first half. Nice drive by the Wolfpack. They be a little disappointed they didn't get 6 instead of 3, having it first and goal at the 3, but things came unraveled a bit, and it's those types of mental errors and a few physical things that really gnaw at both of these head coaches, and that's how you go from being the top team in the conference to one who are, fighting for third and or fourth place.
You got to capitalize, and we said they couldn't blink. I guess they didn't blink because they did answer. They took some time off the clock, and they did answer with some points.
A.J. Martinez fields it and promptly gets knocked to the turf at the 22-yard line. Enter to win exciting prizes, tickets, and special promotions from these featured sponsors. Log on now to sportswest.tv, powered by I4 Solutions. Big business websites on a small business budget. Tyler Ronke will start this drive. Why? 22-yard line. Tyler got to pick up the last one down near the goal line. Couldn't get anything done, and they bring in Colt Brennan to finish it off. So we'll see how Tyler does from the start. The freshman's pass is complete to Ross Dickerson, and he goes to turn it upfield before he's dropped to the turf. Jamal Jackson, the senior.
Well, and Dickerson actually had about 4 more yards when he caught the football in his effort to get even more. He backpedaled a little bit and lost yardage. He was out close to first down yardage, and now it ends up being second and about 4.
How's that go over in the meetings of film?
Not good. You always tell your guys to get up the field. Catch the football and get up the field. Make the routine play and don't try to make a big play. And eventually big plays will come to you is what you try to teach.
Second down. He throws. Diving attempt and pass is incomplete. Jordan Sly had it for a moment, couldn't hold it.
Well, one thing you do see in Gronke that they like, he has a gun for an arm. He's the guy that can really put a lot of velocity on the football and make all the throws. And as I mentioned earlier, he's not a big guy, 5'11", 175, but he's got a big arm.
Third down and 4. Gronke incomplete. Chad Mock, the intended target. Couldn't hold it. It'll be 4th down, and Hawaii will punt.
Well, take a look, and one of the things I'm wondering, I saw on that play, the receiver looked back and kind of made a hand gesture like, where are you going with a football? But then he also pointed up at his visor like, I couldn't see it very good anyhow. So he was looking right back into the sun there.
Kevin Stanley back deep. He waits at the 25-yard line. Kurt Milne on. And he'll have the wind. And you can sail him this direction.
Go, 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 go.
From the 30. Stanley escapes the first part of tacklers. Now the second. And uses excellent individual effort to get out of bounds near the 48-yard line. And a pair of penalty flags, and now a third one coming down. And the officials will confer on the sideline.
But what an effort by Stanley on the play, though, to keep that thing alive. He just ran through tackle after tackle.
It's a senior-inspired effort.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 7, picking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Peoples, and Peoples is the one that you remember had the hit on Stanley where he tried to avoid him on the last one that resulted in a 15-yard penalty. So this is back-to-back 15-yard penalties on Peoples on punt plays. And look at Stanley move. He has got some quick feet on him, Kevin Stanley, with a big return for his team. And now he puts Nevada in a very good position. Defense responded for the Wolfpack. Did a nice job. Hawaii didn't look quite as sharp on that drive with Gronke at the controls. And now Nevada in a position where they get down here with plenty of time left in this half to get more points on the board.
The Hawaii 38, Rowe. And then it's going to be a penalty. Nitron Flowers was being tackled as Rowe let that pass go. People wondering why in the world number 3 is going to throw it directly to Lono Matters. But Nitron Flowers was form tackled before the ball ever got near his direction.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
They found a little something in Kenny Patton.
Yeah, they're going after Kenny Patton. And Patton reading the play, but look at him there. And you saw Flowers standing there going, hey, wait a minute, I'm trying to run a route here. And you could call that interference. You could have called it holding if you wanted to, because he grabbed right a hold and didn't allow Flowers to get upfield on the route.
What does Jerry Glanville pull from his playlist now? Doesn't wear the cowboy hat during the game because he has the headset on, but he still sports it in practice.
Well, and what a staff. A very eclectic staff that June Jones has assembled there. He's also got Mouse Davis on the staff, who really is I would call him the father of the run and shoot offense, where he implemented at Portland State and threw for all kinds of big yardage there.
B.J. Mitchell with two hands on the football burrows his way down near the 30. And we're approaching 2:40 remaining in this first half. Nevada looking for a go-ahead score as they head to the locker room. Play at hardypoker.com. It's the world's largest poker room. BJ got 7 on first down, second down and 3. Mitchell again splits the middle. B.J. Mitchell will make it to the end zone. Touchdown Wolfpack, 30 yards.
B.J. Mitchell coming right at you. Look at the seam created by the big boys up front as Mitchell is immediately in the secondary, breaks the line of scrimmage. He's in the secondary. White coming on the outside. Backers getting some width coming on the blitz, and boy, he was just gone. 7 touchdowns for B.J. Mitchell.
Jekyll's point after makes it 17-14. Nevada enjoying the lead, back out in front, back and forth we go.
Boy, and special teams play set this up as Stanley with a great punt return put his team in position to do this. And then good blocking downfield. Great at the point of attack, but you also have to ask your receivers to block, and watch Caleb Spencer working down the field. Watch 87 on the left. This is not a touchdown if he's not working down there. This ends up being a ball that goes down to the 12 or 13 yard line, but because Caleb Spencer is working downfield, it results in 6 points. Mitchell with a 30-yard run to cap off that short drive after the return in the penalty.
Kevin Stanley, the senior, with the inspired return, and then a personal foul penalty on White gave Nevada 15 more. But you know, as good teams do, you have to take advantage of whatever the opponent's going to give you. And B.J. Mitchell, another of the seniors on this Wolfpack team, they still have high hopes of, you know, a thought of a WAC championship possibility. They play Fresno here at home, the final game of the season. Want to be bowl eligible. I mean, they want to end this on a good note. Careers move quickly. A.J. Martinez waiting the kick from Brett Jekyll. Martinez bobbles it, picks it up at the 6. Looking to get the corner, cuts back, and then is finally knocked down by the Wolfpack coverage team. So the high directional kicks by Brett Jekyll have been effective.
Well, he's got some hang time on him as well.
Big play of the quarter presented by Xbox Live. It's good to play together. Here's our Xbox big play on 4th down.
4th down play, and June Jones decides to go for it. Brennan finds some time, buys some time, finishes off a big drive for Hawaii. Goes to Dickerson, who started off that drive with a big pass play from Hawaii's own 1 yard line. 99-yard drive.
Brennan, the quarterback. Lawa in at tailback. And he'll get the handoff on 1st down. The ball is stripped, and it looks like Hawaii was able to fall on it. Lawa got back his own fumble. Heads up play. He did. An aggressive defense by Nevada trying to steal another turnover here as we wind down this first half.
Take a look, and Nevada would have had an opportunity to really turn momentum here if they come up with this fumble. And you see the strip and allow very fortunate, actually, as that ball bounces right back to him, and that was Craig Bailey, the defensive end, who had his hand in there and stripped the football away.
Brennan's pass complete. Ryan Grice-Mullen, another of the outstanding freshman wide receivers, been fairly quiet today. But he makes the reception. That'll give Hawaii a first down at half. We invite you to stay with us. We'll have our Xbox halftime report, a first half recap, and the head coach for the University of Nevada men's basketball team, Mark Fox. And of course, numbers and highlights from the first 30 minutes here in Nevada. Brennan with the shot down the sideline. Leaping catch by Grice-Mullen is pulled in. Mike Samples with the coverage, but it's a big completion for the Warriors.
Well, you mentioned he'd been quiet up to this point. Now a couple of catches, and that was a big catch as he goes up and over the defender to come down with that. Grice-Mullen at 5'10", another one of those great freshmen out of Rialto, California. Take a look at this effort. He's going to go up and over the top of the defender and just get that football. Well done.
24 yards on the pitch and catch. Hawaii in Wolfpack territory. Brennan is swallowed back at the 42-yard line. Roosevelt Cooks with another sack. He has been outstanding this year, along with Ezra Butler. That will dampen the offensive enthusiasm for Hawaii.
Look at Colt Brennan's numbers for the game. 13 of 18, 165 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. An efficient first half.
Maybe not as explosive as we might have expected. And what do you do here? Second and 21, 47 seconds remaining in the half. Do you try to keep marching it down the field and taking a shot, or do you go to the clubhouse down by 3 and be happy with it?
June Jones' mentality is very aggressive offensively, and it's not. It'd be one thing if throwing the football around was out of your normal offensive scheme, but that's just in their scheme. So I would suspect that he'll keep throwing it around here. Second down. Keep doing what they do.
Colt Brennan, he had a pretty interesting path to get to the University of Hawaii.
Certainly did. He was at Mater D High School in Southern California, and then went to Worcester Academy in Massachusetts for a year, and then signed with Colorado and redshirted there in 03, and then played at Saddleback Junior College in Southern California in 04 as an honorable mention All-American. Now he finds himself a sophomore after all that in the UH program here. So June Jones is glad he found his way there.
Brennan on second down, going to rush, and he'll pick up a couple of yards and escape out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. Third down and long coming up. Roosevelt Cooks continues to be everywhere the football is found. Hawaii just 1 for 6 on third down this afternoon. Third and 17. Brennan going to try to run for it and gets shoved to the turf by Roderick Stallings. Safe play on third and long.
You know, for Brennan, if he's able to stay in bounds there, by the time they get that football set and they run the play clock, probably the quarter runs out. And Nevada's without a timeout. They've had to take a couple as the play clock rolled down, but now with the ball out of bounds, they'll be forced to punt the football.
Milne on to punt. Stallings will drop back near the 10, and if you're Kurt Milne, you don't want to let that ball get anywhere near number 2. who had the big return to set up Nevada's last touchdown. And he'll do just that. Pops it up, and Ezra Butler wisely takes the low road to get away from it.
That's a quick move for a backer.
Yes,
I mean, he got down in a hurry.
And it'll be Wolfpack football as we near the end of the first half. Hawaii 3-5 entering play today, 3-3 in the conference. Nevada 4-3 overall, 3-1 in the WAC. Tough Shed, storage buildings and garages. Call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH. And Jeff Rowe will take the snap from center. And the Wolfpack will take their 3-point lead to the clubhouse. B.J. Mitchell, the senior, with the 30-yard touchdown run to give Nevada a 17-14 lead. We're at halftime at Mackay Stadium, and the numbers for the junior Jeff Rowe. And the hometown favorite goes to the locker room leading by 3. This Sports West College football presentation is brought to you by Lexus and the new 306 horsepower Lexus IS 350. Why live in one dimension? Xbox Live, it's good to play together. RC Willie, one place, so many possibilities. And by Tough Shed, storage buildings and garages. Advantage over Hawaii. Our halftime report is presented by Xbox Live. Xbox reminds you it's good to play together. And a look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes. Blaine, what do you see there?
Well, not too much surprise there. 203 yards passing for Hawaii. Of course, they got a lot on one big play there in the first half, 253 to 183. I expected Nevada to run the football a little more effectively in the first half, but they started to run it better in the second quarter. I think this is a game that is going to come down to the wire. We're going to see more scoring here in the second half as these offenses come out and get going.
Well, we have seen big plays on the offensive side, but we haven't seen, and even some on special teams, what we haven't seen are a lot of big plays from the defensive end. You almost get the feeling whoever can make a big defensive play or two may win this game.
Could be the difference in the ball game. We've seen the ball on the turf a couple of times, but the team's been able to come up with it right there at the end of the half. A fumble that went right back to the running back, and Lau was able to come right back up with it, and that could have turned this game around in terms of momentum going into the locker room. So turnovers could be key here in the second half.
Let's take a look at our highlights from the first 30 minutes, and we've had some exciting action, and we'll begin with the big defensive play.
Yeah, Kamakawiwo'ole has been all over the field for Hawaii defensively, created a big play there in the sack of Jeff Rowe, and this is the drive. We'll just call it the drive, as Dickerson getting over the top of the Nevada defense and taking it all the way down into scoring territory. This is a drive that started on their own 1-yard line, and the thing capped off. A little bit of scramble there by Brennan as he finishes it off with Dickerson in the end zone for 6 points. For Nevada, they come back. Jeff Rowe, every time they needed an answer, he was able to come up with an answer, and his go-to guy in that first half was Caleb Spencer. There and out to Caleb Spencer, and then he finishes that drive as he finds Caleb Spencer in the front corner of that end zone. And the score that put Nevada out in front, B.J. Mitchell takes this one 30 yards into the end zone after a big punt return, set that up. Stanley took him and put him in scoring position. And that's where we find ourselves at 17-14 here at halftime. Nevada out in front.
At advantage.
Welcome back as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Nevada with the lead, and they will get the ball first. look at the first half quarterback comparison brought to you by Dex.
We look at Colt Brennan's numbers on the left. 15 of 20, 197 yards, the 1 touchdown. A very efficient first half for Colt Brennan. He was especially good as he looked off the safety on that throw from his own 1-yard line. That's confidence in a quarterback to go with a throw from your own 1-yard line. Jeff Rowe, 11 of 21, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. No interceptions for either quarterback. That's something that was emphasized this week in practice for both teams, so both guys doing a good job. Jeff Rowe, we talked about it at the half, that needs to be a little more efficient getting the plays off. They've had a little bit of a struggle with getting the plays off in time, and they used up some timeouts and actually had a couple of penalties for delay. And that's a combination of things. The staff has got to get the plays in a little bit earlier, and he's got to get them out of the huddle and have a little bit of sense of urgency as they come out and manage that a little bit better in the second half.
Beautiful autumn afternoon for college football. Nevada head coach Chris Ault, his 21st season manning the sideline. Spent a significant portion of time as an athletic director as well. For a long time did double duty. Remember, he coached this team when they were in the Big Sky to the Big West and now on to the WAC. And he's also an alumni, a former quarterback here at the University of Nevada. Grew up in Southern California, but Reno is home. And his counterpart, June Jones.
June Jones in his 7th season, 51 and 35. And as we mentioned, this was a team that he took over that had lost its pride, really. Had been a program that was down in the dumps, and he turned it around in a hurry in his first year there. And they've been a consistent bowl contender year after year since June Jones arrived back in Honolulu. Some individual numbers receiving. The top receiver for Hawaii, Ross Dickerson, 5 receptions, 110 yards. Of course, that helped by that 87-yarder from their own 1-yard line for Nevada. Caleb Spencer leads all receivers, 4 receptions, 54 yards.
Dan Kelly puts the ball on the tee. Robert Hubbard waits in the Wolfpack end zone. And Kelly puts a foot into it. Hubbard will return it from the 1. And number 19 has the outside. Puts on a move and finally is stopped, but not until he gets up to the 40-yard line. Credit Dan Kelly, the kicker, for slowing him down. Otherwise, Robert Hubbard had ideas on a 99-yard kickoff return.
And on every kick cover team, somebody is assigned the force or the contain on the outside. Somebody, and it's not always the outside guy. Sometimes you let that guy go to the ball, but someone has to stay wide and force that back into the rest of the cover team. So we don't know who was assigned to do that on that play, but there was an error on the cover team on that one.
We don't know who it was. We know whoever it was didn't do it.
And they will hear about it in film.
B.J. Mitchell gets the first play of this third quarter. And the senior gains 5 on first down. And one of the captains, B.J. Mitchell, and you're going to lean on those guys when, after the ego bruising they took last week in a big game coming up against the Boise State Broncos, this is a crucial bounce-back game for the Nevada Wolfpack.
7.4 yards a carry in that first half, and that's getting it done up front, knocking people off the football. But we saw Mitchell on several occasions break tackles and run hard.
And again here, BJ gets 5 more yards, and the credit does go to the offensive line: Adam Kiefer, Barrett Resnick, Dominic Green, Charles Manu, and Tony Mall, the 5 up front, making it happen.
Well, and this is what it looks like for Mitchell. And you see, well, you get the football and you see a crease that big, you need to go back to the huddle and thank those big boys that you just mentioned.
First down, ball rests at the 50. Flowers matched up on Moreland at the bottom of your screen. Instead, they'll hand it off. Mitchell again. He gets knocked off his horse after a gain of 3. Lono Matters with the stop.
And a big stick by Manners on that play.
Second down and 7. Mike McCoy in the game. He's in the slot for the Wolfpack. Robert Hubbard is the tailback. Hubbard will get the carry, knocks over the first man who gets the ball down near the 40-yard line. Lowering his shoulder and making things happen. Robert Hubbard, he with the speed and the physical nature.
Well, and why he's going to run right through Brad Kalilimoku here in the middle, and this is a Mac backer, 5'10", 204, and he got his feet kind of outside, so he wasn't gathered up to make the hit, and Hubbard was coming with a full head of steam, and that's one of the things Ault likes about him. He goes vertical and he gets going in a hurry.
On third down and inches, Hubbard picks up 5 yards. It'll be a Wolfpack first down, and Nevada looking good offensively to start the third quarter.
Well, and Kalilimoku, who was run through on the last play, comes up with a tackle on this play, but Nevada's coming out making a statement here to start this second half, saying, okay, we've figured out what we want to do here now, and that's run the football, and this is going to set up their play-action game down the line in this football game.
And there is play action, and Rowe doesn't like what he's seen, rolls out and wisely throws it away. He had ideas of taking a shot to Neitron Flowers on the left side, but Neitron was bracketed and covered well by the Hawaii defense.
Well, and as you look at that Hawaii defense, one thing, you come out and you just smack somebody in the mouth like Nevada's doing now. We get here in the second half, and one of the things, Hawaii comes from sea level. We're 4,500 feet here in Reno, Nevada, and if you got to be out there long periods of time and people are running the ball at you, that can take its toll.
Hubbard gets the carry and gets met immediately. Solomon
19, Robert Hubbard.
Elimimian,
Run down by number 41.
freshman from Los Angeles. Beats Hubbard quickly, but gain of 2 makes it third down and 8.
A little counter trap where they bring the guard and the tight end. And we saw Mitchell run that in the first half. I had the same question this time. Hubbard needs to get in behind the tight end. You've got the trap block coming. Get up in behind that guy and let him run an interference for you. Let him be the bulldozer and clear the road.
Third and 8. Rowe steps into it, looking for Flowers. He makes the catch on the sideline. Jeff Rowe and Neitron Flowers, and those two have entertained the home crowd for the past couple years.
And Flowers uses all of his 6'3" frame to go up. He had good presence of where the sideline was as well. Watch, throws up high, and look at this. Boom, and he comes down, puts that right foot in. Remember, in college, you only need one. That would have been out of bounds in the National Football League, but in college, 1 foot and possession of the football, and Flowers is able to bring that one in. Another big play for the Wolfpack.
19 yards from the 14. Opening drive, second half. Rowe, pressure backside, floats it to the end zone, incomplete. Athletic move by Mike McCoy to, in essence, turn into a defensive back at the end of the play. Lono Matters had that one read well.
Manners playing that strong safety out there, and he was in excellent position to make that play. On all kinds of time, but look at that. Played it well and played the football. Sometimes defensive backs are in good position. They just don't play the ball well. Manners did a great job that time of going up and getting his hands on the football and playing it like a receiver. Well played.
Second and 10, Rowe with pressure. Able to use the stiff arm and throws it to the end zone. It's a one-handed grab by Caleb Spencer, and that will make every highlight show tonight. Beautiful.
Well, Boy, and Kamakawiwo'ole coming off the backside, who's been giving Jeff Rowe trouble. Look at that stiff arm out of Jeff Rowe. Puts the left hand out, fends off the defender, and then look at the catch by Caleb Spencer. Oh my, look at this. The one-hander, fly paper on the gloves on that one.
Jake Alon for the point after. The opening drive for the Wolfpack in this second half gets them 7 more points. Jeff Rowe and the leading receiver on the Wolfpack, Caleb Spencer, and now you know why. 24-14, Nevada with the lead. Jake Alon to kick it deep, and it'll be Hawaii's opportunity to answer. Nevada had 2 times during this bowl game where they were down and answered the challenge. Now the Warriors with a bit of a statement issued toward them. See how they respond on the road. A.J. Martinez trying to find a little running room before he's grabbed around the ankle and dropped at the 25-yard line.
Well, Rich, you set the scenario perfectly. Nevada has answered when they've had to in this football game. Whenever Hawaii has had momentum on their side, Nevada's had an answer, whether it be offensively or defensively. And you talk about momentum builders. Let's take a look at this catch by Caleb Spencer out of Honolulu, Hawaii, going against some of his homeboys. I mean, that is something special right there. Well, it's Hawaii's chance. It's their opportunity to come back and answer, and they have to do it on this drive.
Brennan on first down, complete. Grice-Mullen makes the catch and gets it up to the 33-yard line. Do you think we will see more of the Tyler Gronke experiment in the second half?
I don't know. I understand what June Jones wants to do there. You want to have 2 good quarterbacks. In this day and age, the quarterbacks take such a pounding. You got to have 2 guys play. He's got 2 young guys he needs to develop. But in this game where they're behind and Brennan's throwing the ball effectively, you almost need to just let him go with it now.
Take a shot down the sideline, incomplete. Dickerson well covered by Joe Garcia. Your point well taken. So you need a Jim McMahon or Steve Young and a Robbie Bosco, and you need a Blaine Fowler sitting right behind him in case anything happens to him.
Well, especially when you have young quarterbacks, and you think about the pounding that quarterbacks take in today's game. The defenders are so big and fast. It's amazing to me. These 290 and 300-pound defensive linemen run 4.7 40s. Some of them even 4.6 40s, which is crazy. They're as fast as the quarterbacks out there, and so you've got to have depth at that position.
3rd and 3. Slings it complete. Von Bess makes the catch, and the freshman, not only is he clutch, he is tough. Those catches over the middle, you know somebody's taking aim.
And I liked your description of how Brennan throws the football. You called it sling, and he really does have a sidearm delivery. He's not even at 3/4. It's kind of slung from the side, a la the opposite side of Kenny Stabler. Kenny Stabler left-handed, but he has a little bit of Kenny Stabler motion in him, throwing it off of that shoulder.
Oh, the snake still does color commentary for the University of Alabama radio broadcast. Great characters in football. Dickerson down the sideline, incomplete. Joe Garcia has played well on the corner. He and Dickerson have battled today.
And Brennan's motion is interesting. Like on that one, I watched again, and when he goes deep, he sets it and throws it over the top 3/4 like you're supposed to. I guess there's not a supposed to. There's all kinds of motions that work. There's guys in the NFL that have weird motions. Peyton Manning has a strange motion that seems to get done. But Brennan's changes. When he's throwing it inside and he doesn't set his feet, he kind of comes sidearm. And when he stands up tall and throws it over the top, when he's throwing the ball deep and sets his feet.
Ground on 2nd and 10. Mario Cox gets tripped up. Again, Joe Garcia. A gain of 4. And to expand upon that point about different motions, and Blaine, your former quarterback down at Texas, and they're having a wonderful season thus far. Vince Young, a Heisman Trophy candidate. They tried for a long time to change his motion, and then finally when they said, just do whatever it is you do, make it happen, big boy, you're a player of the year coming into Texas, just do your thing, the results have been magic.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, if a guy can get it done, there's no reason to overhaul. And if a guy's thrown it that way for so long, has been successful, it's hard to change mechanics at this age in college. You can change footwork, but it's hard to change straight out throwing mechanics.
They will convert on third down. Best down the far sideline all the way to the 30-yard line. They'll spot him out at the 32. But Brennan and Best, the most potent of the combination between the two, hooking up again on the third down conversion.
When Best had 4 receptions for 25 yards in the first half, and he's a dangerous receiver after he catches the football. His yak, yards after catch, run after catch, are very, very effective. Great quickness out of Devon Best.
First down at the 32. Screen. Complete. Best makes the catch and is tackled from behind, but he'll get nearly 10 yards. And again, the point you made earlier, when everybody lets you go to the quarterback, watch out.
Well, and that was kind of a scary, I don't know how they actually squeezed that in there, because it was fairly well read. It was almost like Nevada half read it. They started to come and then stopped up, and there was a lot of people standing around trying to figure out where that screen was, and they were able to squeeze it in there to Devon Best. Brennan did a nice job of kind of waiting on it, and Best found a decent spot, but I don't think that was exactly as it was drawn up.
Best had 14 receptions last week, which tied a school record for 158 yards against Fresno State. He also has 3 consecutive games of better than 100 yards receiving, and the screen nets 10 yards and a first down.
Well, one thing Best has, he's a freshman, but he's got a good understanding of offense. You know, he played wide receiver. He was an all-city performer in Oakland as a junior at wide receiver, and then as a senior he played quarterback. And a lot of times in high school, who's our best athlete? Well, Devon Best. Let's put him at quarterback. So they throw him at quarterback his senior year. He makes the all-city team, and so he's got a nice understanding of what's trying to be accomplished offensively. A good feel out there.
Nevada got the ball first in the third quarter and marched down to score to make it 24-14. This Hawaii's first possession of the third quarter, and they are on the move. Crowd now climbing into it, trying to help the Wolfpack. Brennan escapes and finds a receiver on the far side, Ryan Grice-Mullen, for the touchdown.
We said it was Hawaii's turn to answer, and answer they do. Good patience this time by Brennan. Watch. He's going to bounce back out, and now he realizes he has Grice-Mullen right now. But instead of just trying to huck it out there, he actually sets his feet. He realizes that he has time, makes a veteran throw out there, and Grice-Mullen comes up with a touchdown. That was a nice play by the quarterback.
Dan Kelly tacks on the point after. Colt Brennan. Hey, you don't ever want to huck it. That's just backyard stuff. That's backyard with the kids or the nephews. No hucking allowed in Division I. Timeout.
The results are
8:06 remaining third quarter. Rich Cellini alongside Blaine Fowler, 24-21. Nevada with the lead over Hawaii. Hawaii needs to win out to remain bowl eligible. 3-3 in the conference. 3-5 overall. Hawaii 3-1 in the WAC. Still entertaining ideas of a WAC championship. Deep kick, and Hubbard will take a knee wisely, and the Wolfpack offense will operate from the 20. And the 1 o'clock kicks. Nevada had kicked off at 7 o'clock last year. 1 o'clock kickoff, I think, just feels right for college football.
Especially when you get late in the fall and the temperatures start to get chilly as that sun goes down early. We'll get out of here before it gets too cold. It's been a beautiful day for football here in northern Nevada.
Jeff Rowe with B.J. Mitchell behind him. Kyle Salmons goes in motion. And on first down, Rowe rolls to the right and throws it complete to Salmons. The junior college transfer gets knocked on his backside, but not before he makes the catch, his 21st reception of the year.
Salmons, JC transfer. He's a leading junior college receiver. Had 85 receptions at Santa Rosa Community College last year, 18 touchdowns. So he knows how to catch it and get it into the end zone. Hawaii guys wrapped up in their what do you call those? They're not ponchos, overcoats.
Mitchell stacked up at the line and pushed backward.
Parkas. They just tell me down in the truck it's a parka. I was looking for the word, and they save me down in the truck. See, we got all these people scurrying around down in the truck that when we get stupid, they can put things into our ears so we can come up with it. So with their parkas on down on the side, I don't know there's parka weather yet.
Well, you know,
if you're used to 80 degrees, it's parka weather.
Absolutely.
That's true.
There are no gentle trade winds blowing here in northern Nevada. 3rd and 5. Rowe to Mitchell. Threw it behind him. BJ makes the catch. And he'll be stopped short of the first down. If that pass is leading number 8, the chains move. With it behind him and BJ having to reset, he'll have to punt.
The momentum of his body has to stop. Watch, got to come back, reset his feet, and if he catches it in a full run, and that's a tough throw to make. That's one of the toughest throws. People don't realize to lead that receiver on a swing pass to the side. There is an art to throwing that out in front and hitting that receiver in full stride. And on that one, he had to wait for it.
Bergendahl has a long this season of 70 yards. Got a 61-yarder earlier today. That one doesn't quite turn over and takes a Warrior bounce, so he'll lose another 8 yards on the bad bounce, and Hawaii will get the ball back with 6:28 remaining in the third quarter. You played at the heyday of football at BYU behind some great quarterbacks. Tell me a little bit about the difference between Jim McMahon, Steve Young, and Robbie Bosco.
Well, in college, I think that Jim McMahon was the best quarterback in college. In fact, to this day, I think he's the best college quarterback ever to play. He was unbelievable and so ahead of his game, and he went and played for Chicago and played great there. That wasn't an offense to feature his skills like Steve had at San Francisco. Of course, Steve developed into the best quarterback. Unbelievable work ethic, and ended up being a 2-time MVP and having some great success in the NFL. But in college, Jim McMahon was the best quarterback.
Brennan escaping again, and now finally sacked. But number 15 escaped last time to make the touchdown play possible, and here sheds a few tacklers before Nevada finally able to get him down. Scott Garrison finally grabbed the slippery one.
On this play, I want you to watch Brandon Eaton, number 66. He's right in the middle of the screen. Watch him. Watch the body motion. This is like watching a video game. He's moving, he's jumping, he's looking, he's thinking, why can't he throw it out here to me? And Brandon's looking at him helplessly, looking at big old 66 going, I can't throw it to you. What am I going to do with the ball? But Brandon Eaton had a nice view for that play.
Brennan might be saying, you may want to block somebody in a blue shirt. That would be helpful to me. Second down following the sack. Brennan, and they get him again. This time it's Charles Wilson, the junior, records his first sack of the season.
7-yard loss on the line.
Boy, and Nevada is doing this without a big blitz package going on. This is just the down guys coming after it and being relentless. And Charles Wilson, the junior, he led this team in sacks last year with 5, but hasn't had a lot of sacks this year. He hasn't been able to get back there, so that feels good to be back there. And this game has really been a game of shifts in momentum, a game of little runs. And Hawaii was on one. Now it seems like Nevada is on a run.
On 3rd and 21, a leaping catch down the far side by Devon Bess. Oh, have we seen some wide receivers make plays today.
Well, and to change momentum, you got to make plays. You've got to make a big play, and Devon Bess, he's done it all year for this Warrior team. And take a look at this. I mean, he just goes up and wants the football and takes it away. What an effort, and what a great vertical. Look at him get off the ground. We have seen some great plays from wide receivers in this football game.
In Wolfpack territory from the 41. Brennan sacked again. Craig Bailey gets into the act.
Well, that was a coverage sack that time. A four-man rush. Wolfpack had people in coverage. Brennan went to his one receiver, his two receiver, and then time started to run out. You take a look. It's going outside. Doesn't have the quick throw. Comes back to the curl. Doesn't have the curl. Now he's trying to find a place. So the coverage was good enough to make him check to his third receiver, and by then time ran out.
Loss of 4 on the sack. 2nd down and 14. Sidearm incomplete. Ross Dickerson, the intended receiver, but that a one-hopper by Brennan.
Well, in Brennan's reaction, he was upset with himself. He recognized that that was not a good throw. That was on him. Take a look as he trying to go out quick with it, and the ball just gets away from him. Sometimes that happens. And then his reaction, he squatted down and was upset with himself.
4 for 10 on 3rd down today. Need to get to the 31 for a 1st down. He wants more than that. He's got a receiver wide open, and Grice-Mullen dropped a touchdown. He will think about that the entire 5-hour flight back to Hawaii.
Boy, and he was as open as you can possibly get. And Brennan does a good job. He looks to the left, moves to safeties, and he's wide open. The ball thrown a little to the outside, but that's a routine catch for a wide receiver. You've got to be able to adjust and fade to the football. Oh, my. He will not feel good about that when he watches it on film. He doesn't feel good about it right now.
Milne shanks it. So things going the Wolfpack's way. They dodge a bullet. Milne shakes a punt. We have a timeout. Oh boy, it for all intents and purposes really could have been 28-24 if it weren't for the drop pass by Ryan Grice-Mullen, but he's on the bench in his parka. Lane Fowler, and you know, when you're hucking the ball around wearing your parka, you know you're back to about 8 or 9 years old.
Yes, and you know what? You on the road, you have to make those kind of plays.
Yes.
When you're on the road and you have big play opportunities, you have got to take advantage of it. That should have been a touchdown for the Warriors.
That gets the ball back. B.J. Mitchell up to the 40-yard line. And number 8 thunders through the line.
1st down, Wolfpack.
And in this half, Wolfpack has come out and basically said, we're going to do a continuation of that 2nd quarter. We are going to run the football against you and see what we can do. And look at Elamimium trying to get to the football, and he almost gets undressed in that defensive line. And well, I'll tell you what, it's nasty in there. You don't want to go in there. It's not for the faint of heart. They are offensive, defensive linemen. You're just going to go in and beat the heck out of somebody for 60 minutes. That's your job. Go in there and do everything you can to beat the heck out of that guy across from you. That's the mentality. That's a tough job.
Nevada calls a timeout, their first one of the half. And, you know, generally, you see that jersey stretch.
Take a look at Elamimium. 41, right in the middle of the screen. Now, he's going to try to slide to the play. Now, look. I got you right here. I got the sleeve, and as long as I got the sleeve, you're going nowhere. And the official, they're looking at first, but by the time that play gets to that point, they're looking at the hole and where the ball, they're going to miss that kind of stuff. That stuff goes on every play down in the trenches. It's nasty in there.
Nevada 4-3 overall, 3-1 in the conference. Trying to get back to a bowl game. Hawaii 3-5, 3-3 in the conference. Nevada's upcoming schedule after today, they go on the road for a pair next week at New Mexico State against the Aggies. And then the Aggies again on the 19th, but it's the Aggies of Utah State, and then at home against the Fresno State Bulldogs. And a little chilly on that Warriors sideline.
Well, when the sun goes down here in the Rocky Mountains, that temperature starts to go down. And so it's on the decline here. And this game is, we're into it almost 3 hours here now.
Rowe to Flowers. First down. 3-84. Very good combination for the Nevada offense.
Flowers gets up a little bit of a limp. And when you're running the ball effectively, play action is easy because the linebackers have got to respect that run. They step up, and as they step up, it creates a big hole in between the secondary and that line of scrimmage for you to work as a receiver and for that guy, Jeff Rowe, to throw the football.
In Hawaii territory, Mitchell hit in the backfield and stopped by Lono Matters on the blitz. And Lono not afraid to grow the hair out. That would seem to be in piles to be a dangerous proposition.
Manners from Waianae, and Waianae's produced some tough football players over the years. That area on Oahu, Kurt Govea, one of the greats out of Waianae, played middle linebacker for the Washington Redskins for almost a decade out of Waianae.
Rowe will call another timeout. Play clock down to 1, much to the dismay of this home crowd. Three-point lead for the Wolfpack over Hawaii. Big game for each side. Hawaii needs to win out to remain bowl eligible and be above 500. And Nevada still entertaining ideas of competing for a conference championship. And you look at the WAC schedule coming. The big game, the game of the year, comes up this Thursday on the 10th. Boise State and Fresno State.
Two teams playing with a lot of confidence, and Boise State, Fresno State wanted to make a statement that Boise State doesn't own this conference, that Fresno State is back.
We'll see. Big play of the quarter is presented by Xbox Live. It's good to play together, and what else? Here's our Xbox big play.
Caleb Spencer pulls a Spider-Man here as he goes up and throws one of those little web things out at the ball. Boom! Comes up with a one-handed grab in the end zone. What a catch by Caleb Spencer. We have had some great plays by wide receivers this afternoon here in Reno. Jeff Rowe's number 16-28, 179, 2 touchdowns, and the thing that Chris Ault will be most happy with is he has taken care of the football today. No interceptions.
2nd and 10 from the 49. Rowe to Flowers in the middle, and he is swallowed up in a hurry by Solomon Elamimian. And the freshman has played well. He's stout.
And Elamimian getting up the field, read this one well. You see, he got up in front before the blocker could get out there, Dominic Green. Elamimian had already reacted to the football, beat him to the play, beat him to the football. A freshman out of Los Angeles, California. Born in Nigeria, went to Crenshaw High School in the LA area, famous football factory.
3rd and 11. Rowe gonna pull it down and slip. Oh, number 3 had a lot of real estate in front of him, and his feet just gave out from underneath him. So disappointing for the Wolfpack quarterback.
Coming out, he sees that little seam and recognizes he can probably run for the first down and outthinks himself. He's going to make a move out there on the grass, and the grass brought him down. And for Hawaii, you know, they had an opportunity to score, and they missed that opportunity. Now for Nevada, a chance maybe to put Hawaii away. and they're not able to get the first down. So a crack, a little bit of a seam, an opportunity for Hawaii here to try to get some of that big momentum back.
Bergendahl continues to punt well. This one going to find its way into the end zone, and it'll be Hawaii football at the 20. 15 ticks remaining here in the third quarter. You played on championship teams, national championship team as a matter of fact, and it's that part of when there is a crack or when there is an opportunity that the elite teams take advantage of those things that are presented.
Well, and I think June Jones has done a good job to instill confidence in offense. I think that this is a program now that believes they can score on anybody and move the football on anyone. And so here's this crack. You've got a young quarterback who hasn't been a starter for a long time, but offensively there's a mindset at Hawaii that they can score. This is an opportunity here. And if you're going to have championship teams, you have got to take advantage.
Lawa on the ground on first down, cut down, but not before he gains 8. Roderick Stallings, a safety on the tackle.
Number 29, Roderick Stallings.
Well, and this is a UH program that's had the same guy at quarterback for the last 4 years. You build a lot of confidence around one guy, and Brennan's just earning that respect as the season's gone on here. And as a sophomore, he's got a lot of football in front of him. He's going to be a good one.
Time expires here in the third quarter. We head to the final 15 minutes. Nevada leading Hawaii 24-21. Crescent moon out as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter on what has been a spectacular fall afternoon from Mackay Stadium. Rich Cellini alongside Blaine Fowler. Hawaii and Nevada. And our first play of the fourth quarter is a middle screen complete to Chad Mock, and that'll be a first down. Third quarter number is brought to you by Clearwire, wireless broadband, high-speed internet that moves with you.
Boy, the yardage, not surprising. Nevada, you can see, started to establish that running game a little bit with 100 yards, only 178 passing yards. And look, Hawaii's putting up the numbers, 306, 452 yards in total offense already in this game, yet they trail 21-24.
From the 36, Brennan flips it. Lawa makes the catch. Ball is fumbled. Nevada says they have it. And they do. Wolfpack football. Ezra Butler comes out of the pile with it. Second time today, Lawa has coughed it up. First one he's lost.
And just trying to make a bigger play out of it, and you got to keep that ball when you're in traffic pinned against your chest, against the breastplate. And it was Roderick Stallings who got a hand on that one and knocked it free. And Nate Alau coming back inside a little screen can try to make a play. You got to cover that thing up high and tight. Well, for Nevada, an opportunity, killer instinct you talk about here. That's what Chris Ault will be talking about. And for Hawaii, when you have quick changes like that, it's the mark of a defense. You've got to be able to have some stops in the short field to win football games, especially on the road. And so here you're thinking, no harm if you can hold them to a field goal.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still remains first down.
Make it 1st and 15 following the illegal substitution penalty.
Every player on that defense right now, you got to be thinking, and Jerry Glanville telling his guys, okay, every game there comes a drive or two that defines the defense that keeps you in a ball game, and this is one of those drives right here for Hawaii where they've turned the football over. Momentum's on Nevada's side. They need a big play defensively.
1st and 15. Rowe rolling right, throws, incomplete. Threw it away. Second down coming up.
Lono Manners coming on a strong safety. Blitz that time, coming hard. Forcing Jeff Rowe out of the pocket. And of course he got outside the tackle box, just threw the football away. No intentional grounding as long as it crosses the line of scrimmage.
It's true. Second down and 15. Kyle Salmons and Caleb Spencer line up to the bottom of your screen. Flowers at the top. Rowe with time. Now scurries and buys some more time with his feet. Number 3, dangerous pass into triple coverage. Intended for Anthony Pudawiwo'ole, and that's one they just as soon tell him, son, eat that one and live to play another day.
Well, I'm telling you what, you wait till you see what happened to Jeff Rowe at the end of this play. I mean, he got crunched. First, he's running around all over the place back there and finally finds an escape route. But watch what happens to the quarterback throwing it away here at the end. I mean, he is hammered. Low from the backside, high from the front side. And he hopped right up, got back in that huddle.'s a competitor. He's a tough guy.
3rd and 15. Big opportunity for Nevada. Hawaii defensively needs to stiffen. Draw play. Hubbard. On his feet. Bulldozes his way down to the 24-yard line, and it'll be a first down. The draw on 3rd and 15, and the picture is pretty for Nevada.
When you see what Chris Ault likes in Hubbard, he likes that ability to get up the field in a hurry. He's got explosive speed, finds that seam, and now he's going north and south. He's getting it up there. And as you mentioned earlier, he's not afraid to mix it up at the end of his run. Gets an extra 2 yards and picks up that first down yardage.
Big play in the ball game.
And the big right end for Hawaii, Ikaika Alema-Francis, came up a little bit lame on that one and helped him off the field, but he was able to walk off under his own power. So he comes out of the football game.
First down from the 25. Hubbard again tries the middle, not much doing. Take a look at the PokerStars.com out-of-town scoreboard, where poker players become world champions. Start in the Western Athletic Conference. Louisiana Tech a winner over Utah State.
Well, Boise State is still just rolling.
And the other one, Fresno State and San Jose State. It's later tonight. Irish eyes smiling across the country.
Well, you called that the upset special, that North Carolina State game, and it's turned into that.
Rowe will pick up 2 yards, tackled by Tanuvase Moye.
Oregon and Cal, and that was going to be a tough game in the 4th quarter. All tied up at 20.
Clemens out. Oregon with the broken ankles of backup quarterback.
But Pac-10 is good this year. It is really up this year. It's been a solid conference.
But Autzen Stadium can thunder for a good 3.5 hours. Tough to play as a visitor. 3rd and 7. Rowe to Flowers, and the senior hauls it in and skips out of bounds. It'll be a Wolfpack first down.
Well, and all the turn drill and head turn drills that Nitron Flowers has done paid off here, because that ball was thrown early. That ball was thrown just as the route is being turned to the outside, just as the cut's being made. The ball's halfway there by the time Nitron Flowers turns his head around. And if that ball's thrown on time in a good spot, you can't defend it. Very nice throw by Jeff Rowe. And a nice catch by Nitron Flowers. 7 receptions, 60 yards for Flowers this afternoon.
Well, the Warriors need a stop, or hold Nevada to a field goal. They try the pass again to Adam Bishop, and he's cut down by Lamar Broadway. Road's closed.
Lamar Broadway.
I'm going with the shuffle pass again. Well defended on the inside. Broadway from his cornerback position comes in and makes the tackle on the big tight end.
Second and goal. Mitchell into the end zone. Touchdown, Nevada. Second one of the day for B.J. Mitchell.
6-yard run by number 8, B.J. Mitchell.
8 touchdowns on the season now for B.J. Mitchell. We talked about it earlier in the game. You get inside the 10, you have to have a good run game, and Nevada has been able to do that. And Mitchell's been a weapon this afternoon. The run game has been effective for Nevada.
Two-possession ball game. As Jekyll tacks on the 31st Wolfpack point. And for Jeff Rowe, who had such a tough game a week ago in Boise, number 3 can celebrate in front of the home crowd. 31-21, Nevada with the lead. 11:34 remaining. Big drive for the Wolfpack. All started off of the turnover.
18 rushes, 113 yards, so B.J. Mitchell gets over the century mark again.
Nady Lawa fumbled, and Nevada able to pounce on it and cash in. Jekyll to kick off, and he will send this one almost to the back of the end zone, about a yard short. A.J. Martinez will just let that one sail.
And with 11:34 remaining here, that is an eternity in football with two offenses that can put the ball in the air. Plenty of time for both of these teams and a lot to unfold still.
June Jones manning the Warrior sideline. First down and 10 for Hawaii from the 20. Brennan drops the snap, picks it up, slings it, complete to Bess, and it'll be an 11-yard gain before Kevin Stanley wrestles him to the turf.
Boy, and Brennan made a good play out of what could have been a disaster. We have a shotgun snap like this all the time. Sometimes you take your eyes off. He was reading downfield as the ball hit his hands, and well, he ends up making a nice play, a little sidearm fling off of his front foot. And he picks up his main man, Devon Best there, leading receiver on this Warrior football team. Colt Brennan, 24 of 33, 321, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Good afternoon for the sophomore.
Goes down the middle, and it's picked off. Joe Garcia, his 3rd interception of the season, and he brings it back to the 42-yard line, and he is playing as well as anybody on that Wolfpack defense. He was in Best's hip pocket.
Boy, and the junior transfer, they're glad they were able to come up with him playing well. Long Beach Community College is a Prep Star All-American. Raiders one of the top DBs in the Western United States, and he's proven it today. He's played extremely well, very athletic out there. He's having a great football game defensively for the Wolfpack. Look at him play on the football. Boy, and we talked at halftime, in a game that's hotly contested like this, that turnovers could play a major role in the outcome, and that's 2 on back-to-back possessions for the Warriors.
Rowe, pressured from the backside, being pulled down, and wisely throws it away. Kamakawiwo'ole again. And number 3 will have nightmares about number 1 in the white jersey. Second down and 10. This is the biggest defensive stand of the game for Hawaii. Mountain gets pretty steep if they give up another touchdown. Down the sideline, incomplete, looking for Natron Flowers. Low No Matters had the coverage.
And Jeff Rowe liked that matchup in the shift. Manners, the strong safety, ends up one-on-one on the outside on Neitron Flowers, a wide receiver, but Manners did a great job. He ran stride for stride with Flowers and was in perfect position on that play.
And remember, it was 3rd down and 15 on the last possession for Nevada, and the draw play to Robert Hubbard picked up the first down and kept the drive alive. Another 3rd down and long for the Wolfpack. Rowe throws complete, far side. Jack Darlington, and we'll check the spot. It's a good one for the Wolfpack fans, and it's Nevada first down.
And take a look. It looked like he got a pretty generous spot on the play as Jeff Rowe throws it out to the outside right at the sticks. And take a look. Boy, I don't know. He looked like he marked that back where his feet were, and it's where the ball is when he goes down. And I think he got a generous spot by about a yard, and so it turns into a first down for Nevada.
What really looked to be a 4th down and 1. Yep, it's where the ball is, not where the feet are. Mitchell on first down. And BJ churns it inside the 30. Elimimian again on the tackle.
And one, it really is a nice luxury to have a solid running game when you're trying to close out a football game in the 4th quarter. When you're leading by 10 minutes on the clock, the clock is your ally now. Now you want to be able to keep that clock moving. And Jerry Glanville on the sideline thinking about what he can do to try to create a turnover of his own to get that football back for this Warrior offense.
2nd and 5. Mitchell gains a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down, about 2 yards needed for the first. Keala Watson, another freshman, nose tackle, in on the stop. Along with Alma Francis back in after he had limped off. 3rd down and 3, big challenge for the Warrior defense. Playing on the road here in Reno. Hogan as the flanker, and he'll get the inside handoff and break it outside. He'll have the first down, and Hogue will get all the way down to the 6-yard line. Lamar Broadway finally got him out of bounds, but a well-designed and executed play.
And here's a play. You hold this one in your holster for when you need a big play, and they come back. Hawaii has not seen this play all night. They come with an inside reverse, little counter play. Back in the old days when Ault was playing, they'd call it a scissors play and bring it back to the inside on the scissors play. Big play for Nevada. Boy, and an opportunity to put Hawaii in an almost insurmountable deficit here if they can get it in the end zone for 6.
They get it in here and don't turn it over, they would have a pretty good stranglehold on the ball game. B.J. Mitchell plows over Elimimian. Credit Solomon for holding on tight to number 8 and denying him the final stripe.
And that was a collision. Take a look here, and we talk about Mitchell and how he runs downhill, and you get an example of it there. He gets those shoulders square, and he gets those pads down, and instead of taking a blow as a running back, you can deliver a blow, and he's an example of that. He does done that all night.
Play action on 2nd and goal. Rowe with another stiff arm. Second time today, his stiff arm has led to a Nevada touchdown. .6'5" and those long arms, and he's got some muscle behind it.
Oh, and Chris Alda said he's not a fluid runner, but he's an effective runner. He's got decent straight ahead speed. Look at that stiff arm as he takes that. Boy, as a quarterback, though, you hate to see him stick that right hand out there and use it as a stiff arm, but it was effective on this one. And well, if you're a Hawaii fan and you're wondering where it all went wrong, 2 offensive series in a row, 2 turnovers that have directly led to 14 straight points for the Nevada Wolfpack.
Jekyll's point after makes it 38-21. The hometown hero, Jeff Rowe, with the latest Nevada score. We welcome you back to Mackay Stadium. The Wolfpack leading Hawaii 38-21. 8:07 remaining in the ball game. Rich Cellini alongside Blaine Fowler. A.J. Martinez awaiting the kick from Brett Jekyll. And this one, sideways spinner. Martinez bobbles it, but picks it up. And gets roped around the ankle at the 13-yard line. Let's take a look at the PokerStars.com out-of-town scoreboard, where poker players become world champions.
Utah State, the Aggies losing. Boise State, man, their offense has just got it going again. Zabransky playing well. Fresno State later. Notre Dame. They're back, folks. Notre Dame is back.
Yep.
Your upset special comes true. 2015, North Carolina State over Florida State. And Oregon overtime, 27-20 over Cal right now. And that is a final in overtime.
First play here, incomplete. Tried down the sideline. Kevin Stanley on the coverage. Now you remember that Oregon last year, they had the poor kid who dropped the pass, would have put them in position to try to win the ball game against Cal. So a little redemption for the Ducks this year against the Cal Bears, who such high expectations. And well, that's what happens when you have a great season. And Mark Fox, the Nevada head men's basketball coach, talked about it. The past season leads to expectations for this year, but it's all new.
It's a new team.
And a new season. Brennan on 2nd and 10. Colt over the middle, and a beautiful catch. Devon Best. Boy, do you think you're seeing something special here in number 7? The true freshman, and he is smooth.
Oh, and think about this. You got Colt Brennan, who's a sophomore, shows a lot of poise. He's standing in here, throws a strike on this one. He's going to be around for another 2 years. Best is going to be around for 3 years. You've got Grice-Mullen, who's just a freshman as well. This is an offense that's going to continue to get better for June Jones over the next couple years, just like it did when Timmy Chang started as a freshman and he grew into that role.
Brennan to Bess again. Pass is caught, and he's up near midfield before he gets shoved out of bounds. Just a little bit more of the free-flowing offense. Boy, you can imagine when Brennan will be able to call a few more of his own plays from the quarterback spot.
Well, and he's got the tools, big, strong guy, and he's got a nice touch on the football. He's got good velocity, and his decision-making is going to get better as he matures in his role.
Ball spotted at midfield. Inside screen complete to Chad Mock, and he is caught from behind by Craig Bailey. Aware play by the Nevada defensive end. Mock, the junior from Honolulu, with the catch.
And Mock, a local who came back to Hawaii to play for the University of Hawaii, played 2 years at an NAIA school at Ville University in Casey, Missouri, Kansas City.
From 38. Out pattern is complete to Jordan Sly. Now incomplete. They wave it off. 83 couldn't hold it. And Jordan has some artwork on those arms, the junior from Seattle. Look at that.
Well, he looks like a little bit shaken up as he went to the ground for that one. Probably more shaken up that he didn't catch the football. Never hurts when you catch it.
On 2nd and 10. Brennan complete to the sideline. Ryan Grice-Mullen, talented freshman, pulls it in. And the future of Hawaii football in good hands. Getting a look at all of them that folks in Aloha Stadium will be able to cheer in the coming years.
And right now, Colt Brennan is throwing the ball extremely well. On this drive, he's looking as good as he's looked all game. He's patient. Look at the velocity, a tight spiral on the ball, right in the right spot. And for Nevada, you got to start thinking about coming after the quarterback. Now, they've sat back, and here they come.
It's hit as he throws, and he floats it incomplete on Bess.
Yeah, there comes a point on the field where you say, okay, we're kind of in our slow down defense, letting them catch things underneath, but enough is enough. They're just picking us apart. Let's come after the quarterback here. And that's just what Nevada does. And the throw has to be made just a half a second early. Because of that, the throw's off.
Jeremy Engstrom forced the issue. Sophomore from Visalia down in the Central Valley of California. Second down over the middle behind Bess and incomplete. Those passes over the middle that are tipped so dangerous and almost a present sometimes to a defender standing in the right spot.
Well, and Bess was open on a crossing route underneath, and Brennan had the time, just a four-man rush that time. Nevada backed off again that time and played coverage, and Bess was open. The ball just thrown behind.
3rd and 10. Wolfpack crowd trying to make a little noise. Take a shot toward the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown. Devon Bess. He is something. Wow.
And add another one to the highlight reel for today's game. We have seen some unbelievable catches. And we've seen some wide receivers from both teams that can get up off the turf and get up there and catch the football. They did a little bunch route, 3 receivers over on the right side. Go up and get the ball. Good concentration that time. Big plays, nice adjustment on the football. Hey, this thing's not over.
Nope. Point after is knocked through by Dan Kelly. 38-27. The true freshman from Oakland, Devon Bess. Look at this body control. 6:52 remaining in the game. 10-point ball game. 9 plays, 87 yards. 109.
Well, and a team that's as explosive as Hawaii is offensively, it doesn't take long to score when you're throwing the ball around and getting 20, 25 yards a pop on out routes to the sideline. You're able to get out of bounds, stop the clock. The clock stops on first downs. Lots of time left in this football game. 6:52.
Hubbard runs into his own man. Penalty marker is down, and so is Hubbard at the 33-yard line. Against the return team, so that'll push Nevada back and help out Hawaii's efforts.
Holding, number 17 on the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Drive of the game is presented by Lexus, featuring the powerfully innovative RX 400H, the world's first luxury hybrid.
Oh, and whenever you have a drive of the game, if there's a 99-yard drive, it's got to be your drive of the game. This one starts off Brennan to Dickerson down the sideline for 80 yards. Brennan rolling out. Second play of the drive goes to Devon Bess, and then finishes up scrambling around. He finds Dickerson, who starts the drive and finishes the drive on 4th down. 99 yards on that drive. That's our Lexus drive of the game.
And this is a big drive for both sides. B.J. Mitchell using all of his strength to get the ball up to the 20, a gain of 8. And Hawaii, as you can see, down by 10 points, starting to tackle the football.
Well, and if you're Nevada, you're in your slow down offense, where you tell the backs and receivers, when you have the football, you lay on the ball until the official pats you on the back and tells you get up. You slowly hand them the football. You want to work every second off that clock that you possibly can. This is the one time in this game when the fans will be glad if Jeff Rowe lets the play clock get down to 3 or 2 seconds.
Mitchell again on 2nd and 2. And B.J. pushes it forward for a first down.
First down, Wolfpack.
Well, this, the game of keep away. And for Hawaii, time to go after the football and try to strip it. And don't forget, the big turning point in this game were 2 consecutive possessions by the Warriors, a fumble and an interception, and Nevada able to cash both of those in for touchdowns.
And the one thing Hawaii has done, they've preserved their timeouts. They still have 3 timeouts remaining here, but they cannot allow another first down if they have any chance.
Hubbard behind a pair of blockers gets it to the 31. The offensive line taking charge, clearing the way for another 7-yard gain.
51. That guy got current.
When you talk about that line surge, guys getting off the football, and I'll tell you, there's some unsung guys. That Barrett Resnick, number 70, the strong guard for Nevada, has had an excellent football game. He's their trap guy. He's pulled. He's been out in front of some screens. We see him out in front of sweeps. He has played an excellent football game in the trenches for Nevada.
Hubbard again, and he slides his way to the 38-yard line, and that'll move the chains again. Blaine just mentioned Hawaii has all 3 times out remaining.
They need to get their hands on the football 2 more times, and you would think they would want to preserve those timeouts for the next offensive series, but if they cannot make a stop, there will be no more offensive series. Nevada will just continue to run this clock down.
Hubbard, the tailback. He'll get the carry, slips off tackle, and Robert Hubbard gets all the way down to the 37-yard line before Lamar Broadway knocks him out of bounds.
Boy, you can see what Chris Ault likes about Robert Hubbard. He has good vision to play. Goes inside, he bounces it back to the outside, and he's got good speed. He's the real deal. Gets knocked out of bounds. Now that will stop the clock. For this to be the perfect play, you got to turn it back inside and get tackled in bounds if for Nevada it was going to be the perfect play. But I think they'll be all right with Robert Hubbard getting knocked out of bounds after a big gain.
8 rushes for 72 yards for Hubbard today. Mitchell already over 100, so the ground game complementing the arm of Jeff Rowe rather nicely today. And they get away with one there as the clock was at 0, but Hubbard pushes it forward.
And now June Jones has to use the timeout with a decent stop on first down. And as I mentioned, to be exactly as June Jones would like to play out, they would have stopped him 3 straight. He wouldn't have used any timeouts and used them on the next one, but now he's forced to use them.
Timeout on the field. Hawaii in trouble. 10-point game, 4:07 remaining. Rich Cellini, Blaine Fowler on what is turning into a cool afternoon here in Nevada, Reno. Nice throughout the game. Beautiful autumn afternoon, but the sun goes down and it cools off in a hurry.
Life in the mountains.
Very true. 2nd down and 6. Hubbard is the lone setback. And he'll get the carry. Breaks a tackle and scurries ahead inside the 30. We'll have another stoppage of the clock.
June Jones will take his second timeout. So they'll be left with one timeout here in the half. And on third down, if Hawaii has any chance to get the football back, they'll have to make a stop here on third down.
Tough Man Player of the Game is presented by Tough Shed Storage Buildings and Garages. Call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH, and your Tough Shed Tough Man of the Game is B.J. Mitchell.
Boy, he has had an outstanding football game, rumbling around, and then the run game has been the difference. Nevada, with their balance, has been able to control the football, and when they've gotten down in close, they've been able to run the ball in the red zone, and that's made the difference for Nevada. And turnovers.
Yes.
Running game for Nevada and turnovers by Hawaii. A couple of gifts that turned into 14 points for the Wolfpack.
Two evenly matched teams. Mitchell 136 yards today and a pair of touchdowns. Look at BJ's numbers. Third and 3. Mitchell puts his head down. Able to squirt through the pile.
And he looks like where they're marking it, they'll have enough for a first down. And with that,
he went into a mass of white, and then all of a sudden you saw number 8 leaning on the other side of it. You say, how in the world did he get through that?
Well, he's a strong guy, and that offensive line from Nevada has been executing an excellent surge all afternoon here.
5'8", 205 pounds of muscle is B.J. Mitchell. Nevada content to work the clock and improved to 9-2 at Mackay Stadium over the course of the past 2 seasons. Mitchell again wrapped around the feet and finally dropped down, but most important numbers are 319 and counting. Good news for Hawaii. This is their final road game of the year.
Well, you know, both of these teams bounced back quite well from what could have been devastating losses last week. They both came and played with enthusiasm and executed much better than they did last week. And when we talked to Chris Ault earlier in the week, he was disgusted. It was the word he used, disgusted with the way his team played. And boy, they've really turned it around. Played well today, and Jeff Rowe really turned it around.
Big play of the quarter is presented by Xbox Live. It's good to play together, and here is our Xbox big play.
Speaking of Jeff Rowe, he comes out, uses that right hand to stiff arm. That's the second time we saw him throw a stiff arm in this football game, and gets it in the end zone. That's the 37th point, and the extra point provided the 38-28 margin that Nevada enjoys right now.
3rd and 6. Mitchell, left side. Cuts through and picks up the first down. Another big play by B.J. Mitchell.
First down, Wolfpack.
And with that, may be entering onto some career best territory for number 8.
Boy, for Chris Ault, when he looks back in this game and talks to this team, one of the things he's going to be most proud of is their ability to work the clock at the end of the game, to take a lead and to close out a game, and good teams have to be able to do that. This has been an excellent drive. Until just then.
Everything had gone so well, and there's your broadcaster's jinx.
As like I said, this guy never misses a free throw. Clank.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been an excellent drive, executed perfectly.
All right, here's our Suzuki Way of Life player of the game. That's why he calls their 3rd and final timeout. This player of the game brought to you by Suzuki, home of the authentic SUV. They have the all-new Grand Vitara. Jeff Rowe
Well, and what a
Good
turnaround.
choice.
Jeff Rowe struggled last week at Boise State. He made some poor decisions, and Chris Ault not happy with his play. Talked to Jeff Rowe about that. 4 interceptions. And what does he do? He comes out, plays a clean football game, 20 of 36, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, takes care of the football, no interceptions.
How about this? I'll give a vote to B.J. Mitchell as well for our Suzuki Player of the Game. Has a career best 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, number 8, the senior captains. And while we're going to hand out things, why don't we give a nod to the 5 up front of Kiefer, Resnick, Green, Anu, and Tony Mall, the converted tight end, because it's those 5 who get so much blame when the quarterback gets sacked and the team can't run. And time to dole out the credit for the offensive line, who took control of this game with 4 minutes to go. Again on the inside handoff, and Tommy, the freshman from down Danville, California, San Francisco Bay Area, and he had a nice run earlier on a key play. Lexus introduces the all-new 306 horsepower Lexus IS 350. Why live in one dimension? Visit thenewijs.com for more. 305 horsepower. I think that reminds me of number 8, B.J. Mitchell. 3rd down, 16. Hubbard slips down to the 13-yard line.
Brought down by numbers 45, and number 51.
Well, in Hawaii, without any timeouts, can't stop the clock as it ticks down. And I don't think you kick it here. I think you just run the football. If you try to kick it, you risk getting blocked. So
I agree. Gives us a moment to tell you the executive producer of Sports West Productions is our Eagle Scout, Jesse Christensen. Game directed by the Honorable Russ Merrill. Graphics by Brian Mangum. And our stage manager, Rick O'Connor. Statistician, John Moisner. And our spotter today, David Oakes. A big thank you to our entire crew here in America's Adventure Place, Reno, Nevada. Moreland shaken up, getting up off the turf. In what was a well-played game. I think there is, when you watch these teams as you go through, Blaine, as both of us have, there is a definite difference when you look at Fresno State and Boise State. And I think that next level of caliber of team, we're seeing them here today.
Yeah, and these are 2 young football teams. And so they have the opportunity to step up to that next level. That's what these coaches would like to do, establish them at that level. And, when 2 evenly matched teams play, turnovers can mean the difference. And as the clock runs out, that's going to be the difference.
Yeah, the fumble and then the interception by Hawaii, and that really sealed their fate. Credit Nevada for taking advantage of the turnovers, but a well-played game and 2 classy men who run first-rate programs. Chris Ault for the University of Nevada and June Jones for the University of Hawaii. Well, June will rally the troops and get back on the plane and head back to the islands, where they will host Utah State next Saturday. And for Nevada, it's going to take to the road for a pair of games. The first one next week at New Mexico State. 38-28, the final. Nevada improves to 5-3 overall, 4-1 in the WAC. Hawaii drops to 3 up, 6 down, 3-4 in the conference. What a game by number 3. All the pressure was on his shoulders. He knew it, and he responded well. A promotional consideration has been paid by Advantage Rent-A-Car and I-4 Solutions. Sports West thanks these fine companies for their valuable support and services. This has been a presentation of Sports West Productions in association with KFVE and KREN in Reno. For more information information about Sports West Productions, go online at sportswest.tv. For my partner, Blaine Fowler, and our entire crew here from America's Adventure Place, I'm Rich Cellini, wishing you a good evening from Nevada.
Is brought to you by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure, the king of beers. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
How you doing, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the June Jones Show. For the first time since 2001, the UH Warrior football team will not be going bowling. Hawaii needed to sweep its final 4 games to reach the bowl-eligible mark of 7 wins. But it wasn't to be, as the Warriors crapped out in Reno yesterday, losing to Nevada 38-28.
Here's a look at what's on tap tonight, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. We'll recap the Warrior Wolfpack battle. JJ's in the studio talking about where it went wrong in Reno and what Hawaii now must focus on for its final 3 games of the season, including next week's matchup against Utah State. And we'll shine the Warrior spotlight on Ryan Grice-Mullen, why the spotlight may pale in comparison to the brightness of this young receiver's smile and enthusiasm. But first, John Veneri with a look at Hawaii's bowl effort gone awry.
It's been an all-too-familiar scenario for Hawaii this season. Just like Boise, just like Fresno, yesterday the Warriors saw very real opportunities for a win literally slip through their fingers. And now the team must digest the fact that, for just the 3rd time in the June Jones era, there will be no bowl game for UH. We caught up with the Warriors at the airport as they arrived home late last night.
It hurts, it's sad. Right now, it's a sad part of our season.
Especially me being a senior, we've been talking about it on the way home, and it's just kind of a somber feeling. We got to use this to kind of try to finish off the season on a positive note.
Warriors definitely had their chance for a win yesterday. The offense built a 14-7 lead in the second quarter, thanks to several big plays, including more big catches by freshman Devon Bess, who racked up 171 yards receiving on the day.
We did all right the first half, but second quarter is when we really got on a roll. And by that time, I wouldn't say it was too late, but now if we would have clicked a little bit more sooner, it probably would have been a lot better for us.
But Hawaii was still right there in the second half after a Ryan Grice-Mullen TD catch. Warriors trailed 24-21 in the third quarter and had a chance to take the lead when the improbable happened.
Grice-Mullen dropped a touchdown.
I don't know, man. It was there, Coach threw a good ball. I ran under it. I tried to adjust. Thought I did. Got my hands up and just hit it and just let it go. It's one of them things that just happen sometimes.
But Hawaii would get the ball back, still down 3, only to fumble it away on a Nate Laua reception. Wolfpack put it away from there.
Well, they have a strong runner. Number 8 was a real strong runner. He didn't go down on the first hit, and we pride in hitting them and taking them down, big bagging as we call it. Make sure everybody gets a body on them, take them down. And we didn't do that as good this game, and that really showed, and it came through on a couple of key plays.
Number 8 was running back B.J. Mitchell, who ran for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Kamehameha graduate receiver Caleb Spencer caught a pair of scores himself, helping the Wolfpack to a 10-point win. Again, it was a situation of close but no cigar for Hawaii.
It seems like it's a recurring story this year, It seems like, we always have, if we did this, if we did that, or we shoulda, coulda, woulda, but, I guess that's every game. We got to take advantage of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and leave the other team saying that, but I guess we'll end up saying it again.
But to a man, the Warriors are not undermining the importance of these final 3 games, even if a bowl appearance isn't in the cards.
It basically shows, what type of team we are, man. It shows what kind of character we got, where our heart's at, whatnot, and it kind of set us, a good standard for next season.
These young guys, their last games is what they're going to keep with them to next year. If we finish strong, I'm sure they're going to have a positive effort in the off season and every time to come. If we get a strong ending right now, that's going to lead to better things in the future. So this is very key.
All right, thanks a lot, Johnny. Here now with head coach June Jones. And first off, let's talk about the game yesterday in Reno. Your synopsis of what went down.
Well, it was very frustrating. It was one of those games that was pretty even until our first turnover there that put it, put them ahead again a little bit with a little cushion, and it's just frustrating because I thought it was one of those games. Again, we're going to have to play our best game to win on the road, and we did a lot of good things, and we've got some exciting young players, but at the same time, you got to do the job when it counts to get the win, and we just were unable to do that.
And it seems like that's the running theme. Some of the players were talking about it when they arrived back home late last night. Just opportunity after opportunity in these tight games, and for some reason it always seems to go the other way. How frustrating has that been? Well,
it's frustrating. You know, we had the one game where we pulled it off at San Jose, and so you know you can do it. And this one was kind of frustrating because we certainly had our chances, like you say, again, and you know, not any one play decides that game, but there were some key plays that really changed the momentum of some of the things that happened. And you know, these kids, from this adversity, they're going to learn how to win, and that's the only way you really do it, and is have success at doing it. And you have to go through these tough times to have success, and so it'll happen.
Yeah, you have always been a firm believer in that. Why so?
I just believe that's a lesson you learn in life also. You know, some of the worst things that ever happened to me personally, when I look at them a year later, I'm glad they happened because I wouldn't be where I was. And I think football is the same way, and I think it teaches you that. I really think the 2000 season, when we went 3-9, I told the kids in the locker room after that last game that year really defined us and made us who we were going to become the next four seasons, and I still believe that, and I think some of the kids understood it as we got to 2001.
Is that what you think you're going through with these guys now?
I really do. We have some tremendous young players that are really, really fun to watch. In fact, I just shake my head sometimes when I see some of the plays that Colt makes and some of the plays that Devon make. And they're really exciting, and to think that we have these guys for the next 2.5 years still, or two years and 3 games with Colt and 3 seasons with the rest of these guys, it's going to be pretty exciting. And we got some good young players on defense. Adam Leonard got in there, played well. Solomon Alameda. We got some B.J. Fruin. We got some good freshmen, and it's going to be fun to be around.
This is kind of the dues-paying process, more or less.
Well, I think it is. You know, you'd like to win as you go, and you know, the unfortunate thing is we had chances in 3 games to win, and Boise, Fresno, and this one. And you know, really the only game to me that I felt like you know, we just weren't on that day was Louisiana Tech. But really, other than that, I'm proud of how the guys played and how they compete and how they come to work every day.
Well, there were some mistakes in some of the losses, like Boise State, Fresno State, and then yesterday some overt miscues. You hate to see Grice-Mullen, who's such a good guy and has done so many positive things, wide open behind the defense, and a rare drop for him.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I also remember all the great plays, these catches he's made, and the ones he's gone over the top of people and put it in the end zone. And you know, when you play enough football, those things are going to happen. Devon Best has been unbelievable, but he still is talking about the drop that he had against USC. And you know, you got to live with it. You got to move on. Just like I told Devon after that SC game, I'm going to tell Ryan again that the next, you know, the next time he's going to make the great play to win the game, and that's how you got to believe. You got to do it.
Well, the guy delivering those passes, Colt Brennan, they got to him a little bit yesterday. The Nevada defense, he was sacked a handful of times.
Yeah, you know, after watching the film, our offensive line didn't play very well. That was probably the worst they had played all year, and I think they're going to be disappointed when they look at it. Same thing with our running back position. We didn't block very well. And I was thinking at the time that some of it was Colt, but Colt actually played better than he's played in the last few games. But when it was going on, he had a couple key reads that he didn't execute that kind of got in. And until I looked at the tape, he really did improve, and he did the things that we asked him to do a little better this week. And so hopefully that'll just keep going on for the last 3 games.
Special teams, again, we saw a block point after. Special teams has had its moments of impact, sometimes negatively, this season. What is it maybe about the execution?
Well, I think the block kick, unfortunately, is a freshman. I could have blocked the kick. It would have hit me in the stomach. And I mean, if you don't get it up, I mean, anybody can block it. And you know, when the same thing, we got a freshman kicker that's going to be a really good player, but he's got to understand that every time, it's not some of the time, every time you got to do it correctly.
Well, we went from offense to special teams. Now defensively, how would you grade the performance yesterday?
You know, I thought other than the final 7 minutes of the game, we made enough plays to, you know, win the games. They have a tough offense to defend. You know, the time of possession got really out. When you look at the final time of possession time, it was really one-sided, but it's dead even going into the fourth quarter. And, you know, unfortunately, that's a combination of us not doing anything when we did have the ball there early in the fourth quarter. We turned it over twice and gave it right back to them. And then that final drive when we put one in to get within 10, not being able to stop them for 7 minutes. And I think at the end there, our spirits were dampened just along with physically. We had a lot of plays at that point.
There seems to be a relationship, too. You talk about the spirits between the defense and the offense. And when the offense makes plays, the defense, for whatever reason, always seems to back that up. And when the offense maybe doesn't make the play or there is a mishap, there seems to be a tendency, especially on the road, that the defense also kind of finds its way into that negative run.
Well, you know, that's all part of being a team and everybody working together, and that's all part of how you learn to do it. I think the one thing that we haven't done, we're starting to play more aggressively, I think, the last 2 or 3 games defensively, but the bottom line is you have to take the football away. No matter how good you play, you know, how many takeaways do you have every game? We haven't gotten the takeaways that we need to get, especially with how potent we are offensively. In fact, I remember a statement Buddy Ryan made on NFL Today one time. He was asked about the shutout. He shut out somebody 27-0, and he was all upset about it because they didn't have a turnover that day, and that's what was most important to him. And I really believe that that's what makes a great defensive team, is taking the football away.
Watch out now. Still to come, the Warriors are returning to the Islands for their final homestand of the season. First up, a date with Utah State. The coach will break down Hawaii's chances against the Aggies. And Ryan Grice-Mullen is put under the Warriors spotlight. You might be surprised as to who he says is his best friend.
Listen to the first verse.
Watch out.
Welcome back to the June Jones Show. Here's a look once again at the WAC standings. As it stands now, Fresno State and Boise State tied for first at 5-0 in conference. Louisiana Tech 4-1, Nevada 4-1, Hawaii 3-4 in the WAC, Idaho 2-3. The opponent here coming up this week at Aloha Stadium, Utah State, is 1-4. First off, let's ask about the Aggies, Coach. What do you know about Utah State?
Well, I've watched them on defense quite a bit, and one game on offense so far today. I would say defensively, they're very aggressive. They got a front four. Our offensive line is going to have to play very good. They can rush the passer. They took Alabama. I mean, Alabama actually made some plays not against their defense to beat them. I mean, they were right with them, and they played Fresno the same way. So defensively, they're very athletic and very good. Offensively, they depend on their quarterback running the football a little bit more. They're in one back a lot, in the shotgun. And we're going to have to contain him to defend him.
What do these final 3 games, this last homestand here, where you have Utah State, and then you have Wisconsin coming down, and then you end with San Diego State, what do they represent now for your team?
Well, I think, you know, whenever you get into these type games, you find out what's inside of you because you really don't have much to play for other than pride. And so far, our kids have shown great intestinal fortitude in practice. At the game, they've shown up every week, and they play and give it their all. So I think these games really kind of say that. We're going to play them one at a time. The first one's Utah State. And then hopefully we can have some fun the last 2 weeks against teams that are I think everybody thinks are a little better than we are. So, you know, hopefully we can do something positive.
What are you hoping to see out of your team on the field? Will the strategy or philosophy change at all with these last 3 games, knowing that the bowl game isn't sitting there anymore? Well,
I think that what you got to do is you got to do things correctly. You know, we still like we lost contain on a kickoff return. You know, I mean, how hard is it to contain a guy? Your only job is to be the widest man on the field, and we have guys not paying attention to detail, and that's frustrating. So you have to take pride not just in the game itself, but in each individual play on what you're supposed to do. And we're going to take a close look at a lot of these kids, and we have decisions we have to make, just like they got to make decisions. We had a kid make a decision this week, Jack Rolovich, that decided to move on down the road because he wanted to play. He sees 2 young kids in front of him. Hey, every kid's got to make that decision. We've got to make decisions on some of the athletes we have coming into next year, because it's going to be kind of exciting with some of the young kids we have, and we want to obviously take a good look at everybody.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Do you think you're going to be putting in a lot of underclassmen and younger guys that haven't had that much experience yet?
Well, certainly we're going to try to win the game and do what we have to do to win the game, but this is a time where you can look at some other players, and we have pretty much put everybody in the game so far this year, but I know one thing offensively. I'm going to isolate a couple young guys and take a better look at them.
May I ask you maybe any feelings of disappointment you may be feeling for not achieving a bowl-eligible season? Obviously, the Hawaii Bowl is always a goal for your team, and this year obviously coming up short.
Well, I'm disappointed for Jim Donovan because I know he wanted us to win, probably the most of everybody. And I think the biggest thing is our seniors. This is a great group of senior guys, and they're all winners. And unfortunately, we have some young guys in key positions, and they've had to kind of live with some of the mistakes, but I'm sure they've enjoyed watching some of the plays these guys have made too, and know that the impact they've had on some of the young guys that are redshirting this year, training them on how to prepare and how to work at practice and how to do things correctly, will go on and live right down as they leave. But just disappointed, I think, for them more than anything.
The fact that Hawaii will not be in the Hawaii Bowl for the first time since its inception 3 years ago, what does that portend for the bowl game itself, you think?
Well, I think the bowl game is glad we didn't give them any controversy, because if we didn't finish 1 or 2 and we're bowl eligible, it would have been, some real fireworks, I'm sure. But I think that this bowl is a positive thing for Hawaii. It's a positive thing for us. Until we qualify that day, when we get a BCS deal like a Fresno possibility has, or a Boise State had last year, this bowl is the best thing for our kids and for our program, and what exposure it's given us for the 3 times we've been on it nationally. I think it's been the 2nd highest rated game of that year. The national championship game, only game rated higher than I think 2 of the 3 bowl games that we played in. So that kind of says it all, what it does for Hawaii.
If I may ask you, because obviously attendance will be a factor for the Hawaii Bowl in the eyes of the NCAA, if I may ask you about your season, there have been some comments made here lately about attendance at the University of Hawaii games. You talked about paying your dues this year. How does that relate to the fans and maybe their belief that this team will get better?
I think that what's happened here, our attendance is not a reflection of the interest in the program. We have done everything that I think that I had set out to do, in that we have pay-per-view, which is same-day television. I don't think that's hurt it tremendously. We still get the same amount of money, the number of people. But the thing that's really kind of conflicting us right now is that we've gotten good and we've become a national attraction on national television. And by putting us on ABC and ESPN and not blacking out the games here, it costs us big time. Not only because of the time frame at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people don't want to come. We have 2 families working here. The kids are playing soccer, and it's hard to get the people to the game. But if we could eliminate and have an exemption for a blackout on our WAC conference games and stay at 6:05, trust me, we still have all the people there. But there's a bunch of combination of things right there that have hurt us this year, and I guess that's the price we have to pay, because we're getting more exciting and people want to watch us play.
Do you still kind of wish you could communicate to some of the fans and say, hey, keep the faith in us, we are going to get better, these are the dues that we're paying?
I don't think we've ever lost that. I think the media and I think that the press would like to report that, but I don't think that there's any less people interested in our games. Some people, even the press, has made it out to be that our ticket premiums has hurt our ticket sales. We lost probably 240 tickets. 240 out of all our season tickets were associated with the ticket premium. But the increase was close to $1.6 million on those 240 tickets. So, we do what we have to do. Herman's had a great plan. Our marketing department's done a great job with what we're doing. It's just unfortunate that the timing of the national TV games and the time slots that we've had to have at 1 o'clock against a couple of our biggest opponents has hurt us.
Those darn media guys. Hey, thanks a lot, Coach, and we'll be talking to you after Utah State next week. We'll be back with more on the June Jones Show right after this.
Coming up, there are very few moments where Ryan Grice-Mullen isn't smiling. How the redshirt freshman went from under the radar in high school to one of the Warriors' main threats, and how his mom serves as his inspiration on game day.
Here's Grice-Mullen diving for the
Number 1 is playing like a senior.
That was a forward conversion and a good first score. What has always amazed me is that Hawaii very rarely changes.
Welcome back to the June Jones Show. All right, so we had a key drop yesterday in Hawaii's loss to Nevada, but receiver Ryan Grice-Mullen has definitely proven his worth in this Warrior offense as just a redshirt freshman. And part of what he brings is an unmatched enthusiasm both on and off the field, as John Veneri can attest to.
Yeah, Ryan is currently 3rd in the WAC in receiving. He's averaging 92 yards per game to go along with his 9 touchdowns. He's young, he's talented, and as you'll see in this edition of Warrior Spotlight, just happy to be here. It's a smile that can light up an entire stadium. But what is he smiling about?
I don't know, man. Just happy to live life. Everybody asking, what you laughing about? I don't know, I'd rather laugh than be frowning all the time.
Truth be told, there was a time when smiling didn't come so easy for Grice-Mullen. It was called high school football. In Ryan's junior and senior years, his Rialto High team won just 1 game.
It was some tough nights. It was long Friday nights, a long 2 seasons too.
In the competitive world of California prep football, stars on losing teams don't get nearly the recruiting attention that players in more recognized programs do. Grice-Mullen feared that he was getting lost in the gridiron shuffle, so he looked to his parents for encouragement.
They asked me, what do you want to do? You know, do you want to play at the next level? I told them, yeah. It was like, well, you can't stop, you know, you can't quit.
So Ryan, by then a senior, kept pushing on, losing almost every game and playing almost every position on the field.
When we had a chance to kick onside, I was the onside kicker. You know, being on a losing team, that's what it taught me the most. It taught me the most that one player cannot win a game.
His all-around play earned him the nickname Big Guns from his coaches.
Big Guns, well, we call him Big Guns, but I'm not buff. You know, people think Big Guns, oh, he must be buff. He set him down, he's like, no, I'm gonna tell you why. Because big guns make big plays and do big things at big games.
Big Guns came up big enough to earn a scholarship to Hawaii, where as a redshirt freshman last year, he received a rude awakening.
Coming out there first day, you know, you're a freshman, you know, seeing guys like Chad on, you know, running around, catching everything, you know, see he all ripped and everything, you're like, man, how am I gonna play with these guys, you know? You kind of thinking at first, you know, like, I don't know about this.
The injuries didn't help either, especially the one to his shoulder that kept him out of this year's fall camp.
This can't be happening to me. Why me of all times when I have this big opportunity, you know, to get my chance to play, and then I just go down with an injury like this that just set me back.
So as he did in high school when things weren't going his way, Ryan turned to his family, in particular his mom, whose words of wisdom and support, as they always have, inspired Ryan to work his way back.
She always been my #1 fan. I can remember when I was 9 years old, she used to come to the games, and she would be in the stands and have her own bullhorn. It was kind of wild. My mom, like, seriously had her own bullhorn, and about like the 8th game or whatever, like one of the presidents in the league told her she can't use it anymore because it's louder than the speaker itself or the intercom. So it was crazy. My mom, she always been my #1 fan, and I tell everybody quick, you know, they ask me who my best friend is. I say my best friend probably is my mom, you know, like always there for me. You know, me and my mom talk like every single day, Monday through Sunday, every single day.
And so when Ryan found himself in the Warriors' offensive plans this year, he brought the encouragement of his mom with him.
I have a little thing, you know, like before every game, you know, right after pregame, before we go back out, you know, I come. And I call my mom and I say, all right, I'm about to get ready. She say, you know, she give me a little speech like, okay, baby, I'm here with you. You know, you go out there, play a good game, and I love you.
I know I love you. I think the world of you.
I'll let you to it, and then I'll talk to you after the game.
And most of those post-game chats have been filled with good news this year, as Grice-Mullen's on-field efforts have sent him soaring into the hearts of Hawaii fans.
When I'm on the football field, you know, like all my injuries go away. Everything just slows down to me, you know. You feel that you feel you're unstoppable. That's how I gotta feel. I feel that only person who can stop me is myself. You know, I'm on the field. As soon as I touch the ball, I'm always looking to score. No matter what way. If I could jump from the 10, I would have did it from the 10. So with no hesitation.
And why not? We're talking about an only child from a loving family, a guy who coached Pop Warner football as a senior in high school, a young man that for the last few years has known almost nothing but losing and injury when it came to football. And while the Warriors aren't exactly enjoying a banner season, Grice-Mullen, like many involved with the program, are hopeful about the years to come.
It's about to be a new era of Hawaii-style football, you know. It's a new era of receivers coming. We're young, but, you know, we can come out there and play ball. I love the game, you know. I love the game. I love the excitement. I love the thrill.
It's enough to make just about anybody smile.
Thanks, Johnny. Good job. Now, you have Grice-Mullen on one side, you have Devon Bess on the other. Maybe some people would start thinking, hey, ego could come into play here in this relationship between these two guys. What do you think?
Absolutely not with the two. In fact, the roommates on the road and here at the hotel, they're the first guys to congratulate each other when the other scores a touchdown. They're good friends, great football players. Really fun to watch, and they cheer each other on.
I did hear Grice-Mullen after the Fresno State game, too, talking about Devon Bess's catches in that game, going, did you see that? Did you see those catches? So they definitely do get along. Thanks a lot, Johnny.
We'll be
Great
seeing
job.
a lot more of it.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. Great job once again.
Thanks.
We'll be back to wrap up the June Jones Show after this. That'll do it for tonight's show. Hawaii is experiencing the painful reality of losing, as are the fans. But hope rests in the fact that we have not yet seen the best, or maybe even close to the best, that these players have to offer. And with none of the pressures of bowl talk or WAC titles, this final homestand provides yet another chance for the Warriors to encounter winning. And when you look at the performance against Boise, Fresno, and yesterday against Nevada, it doesn't seem that Hawaii is that far away. With the Hawaii Bowl no longer an issue, the focus now becomes the future for this Warrior program. And it's a future that could be bright when you combine the flashes of brilliance from a determined crop of underclassmen with the hunger that will no doubt be instilled by a season that has not met the self-imposed standards of the team. What we are witnessing is a program rebuilding through youth and paying heavy dues in the process. We'd like to thank Coach Jones and Ryan Grice-Mullen. We'll do it again next Sunday, same time, same place. For John Benary, I'm Kamakawiwo'ole. Aloha.